2016, and you're watching Redacted. This episode is once again brought to you by Antlion Audio, creators of the mod mic. Keep your headphones and add a mod mic. Definitely go check them out.
Look at you, you're prepared today, boy.
Point Antlion in chat. Can you tell as he brings up his mic? Oh my god.
Knocks it over. I mean, that's one of the advantages, right? You could take it off, put it on.
And occasionally leave it off and not realize you have it off.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So, how are you guys? How goes it?
Let's start with board. Let's start with board.
Well, yeah.
I think we know how I'm doing.
Oh, fucking. I'm good.
God.
I'm good. Sorry, guys.
I'm good.
Nothing's no issues. There's no.
Everything's under control.
It's under control. Under control. Up delete. Crash the desktop. Oh god. Yeah. Right. So
how was your week, Ben, board?
Yeah. I mean, other than the stuff I've told you. Well, I mean, people don't fucking give a fuck, do they?
They do. They care.
No. Well, let me continue. Obviously, people know that I'm a bit bipolar, and I've changed some stuff around, and I'm not sleeping very well at the moment, and I'm a little bit sick. But I'm very manic, as people may have seen on my streams. So just deal with it. I've been playing a bit of like Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. The single player is pretty good. You quite enjoyed it as well, didn't you, Twerk?
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I really did.
It's not worth 30 quid for me. $40 for you, or whatever it was for
60.
you.
Yeah.
$60.
80 for me.
That's as much as No Man's Sky.
80 for me.
Yeah.
80 Canadian G's, man.
With Modern Warfare, it was 110.
Oh, that's insane. That's far too much. The single player is only like 5 hours long, maybe a little bit longer. If you did all the side missions and really looked for the content. Multiplayer, I haven't really played much, but I know Saurus has, and I'm sure I'll talk about that in a minute as well. Really, I'm only looking forward to Mass Effect Andromeda now. That's pretty much the only game I'm actually looking forward to. Everything
Dude,
else.
that trailer.
Yep.
And the website and signing up for it and everything. It's kind of exciting.
I think it is exciting.
Not bad, man. Not bad.
No, I'm pretty I'm ready to start doing my Mass Effect playthroughs on stream for 1, 2, and 3.
It looks like they're going to revive that IP and make it fresh, and that's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
because the Mass Effect series is fucking great.
It's probably my favorite series of all time.
Half-Life for me.
Yeah, I just there was something about for me, what I loved about it was walking around, talking to everybody, asking every single question possible, going through every option and learning about all the alien races and the story and where this came from and that, and I love that game. Taking a lot of time.
I prefer in that kind of genre fantasy games normally, but I liked Mass Effect so much more than Dragon Age.
Yeah, well, Dragon Age was weird because Dragon Age is it's like turn-based fighting too, right?
Sort of, yeah.
It's like sort of, but it isn't.
Yeah. It is technically turn-based, I suppose, but it plays it out effectively.
Yeah. Okay. I never played it, but I watched some of it, and I was kind of like, eh. I love fantasy games though too, so it's like,
But other than that, it's just been a Star Citizen slog. I mean, I've been looking through. There's loads of videos I want to get done, and I'm getting prepared now because we've had a little bit of a content lull.
Yeah.
So this is a time for me to read all of the lore, and learn about all of the planets and the solar systems and all that sort of stuff. So
and spin around in circles forever.
Yeah.
I have a video up of you right now just spinning in circles.
That's what I do. I chuck salt around and then pray, and hopefully 2.6 will come out. That's how you do it.
Listen,
That's how you do it.
Those numbers are banned around me.
2 and 6 together with a dot in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Good thing we're on my channel.
It said banned around me.
And we are on your channel, Twerk. So
me and Board will just talk over you about it. We'll just go around. We'll go around and up.
And we'll just do this, and then it's all good. Then I don't have to hear anything. But then neither can the stream.
Did he just mute us?
I think he did. Guys.
But he's going to know when
You're back.
He's going to know when it's gone to Evocati though, because it will be the polar opposite. He'll want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And we'll be like,
yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
It's like plastered all over Reddit or something. I don't know. I mean, it's all hearsay.
Yeah,
Me and Twerk looking nervous, make sure
I'll
there's no
believe what you see on
reflections in our
Reddit.
room. Just. What about you,
It's true.
Twerk? What you been up
Most of
to?
the time Reddit's been completely fucking wrong, but what
general,
I've been up
just-
to is I played the whole Call of Duty Infinite Warfare campaign. It took me, I think, 8 hours. Like 1 hour the day
everything, didn't
before, and 8 hours or about a little bit less than 8 hours the next day. And it was my first Call of Duty game ever.
Mhm.
So I think I did the right thing and had very, very, very low expectations. And the story was fun. I wasn't a fan of the fact that it kind of holds your hand all the way through, but I'm really bad at video games, so it kind of worked for me. But overall, I actually enjoyed it. Personally, I actually quite enjoyed the dogfighting. I couldn't believe I did. It was terrible, but it was
It
kind
was
of fun
still
at the same
fun,
time.
right?
Yeah, like
Like it doesn't
here's
need to be a perfect simulation for it to be fun.
exactly. I had fun.
It reminds me
you
of some
compare it to Star Citizen?
PlayStation games.
Absolutely not.
I used to play loads of PlayStation games that were very similar to the dogfighting. When I did the dogfighting in it, it was really nostalgia. For
Yeah.
me, it was sort of like this is an action arcade dogfight.
Yep.
And it was quite fun.
Yeah, I mean that's and it was sort of fun. It definitely gets repetitive, but
Which is surprising, seeing how short the single player is. But yes, I know what you mean.
yeah, well, the dog fighting was definitely repetitive. The actual on ground fights were not, but it's just if you take it for what it is, it doesn't have a bad story. They definitely did a like spoilers, but I mean I think it's pretty obvious. They did a where Hawaii got bombed in World War II.
Hiroshima?
Pearl Harbor. They did a Pearl Harbor
All right.
kind of storyline, which I thought, that was a really cool way of doing it, and it was nice. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It took eight hours of my time. I have no desire to play the multiplayer at all. I might do zombies with viewers. I've talked about doing, and people seem
Apparently, that's quite fun.
yeah, people seem interested in doing that. A lot of people that I work with are like, man, I don't really play COD, but I love zombies. So it might be fun. I've never played zombies, but hey.
I'm happy to check that out with you as well. I haven't played zombies ever either.
Yeah. So we'll give that a go and see what happens.
Has it been worth the money you put into it yet?
So a lot of people came in the channel and asked that, and for me, yes, because it gave me the opportunity for me though. So I'm gonna continue on because it gave me the opportunity to definitely do a lot of comparisons to Star Citizen. I don't think you can take the dogfighting and compare it, but you can absolutely take the cutscenes and the transitions from the very cinematic. I don't know if pre-rendered is the right thing, but those might be pre-rendered. I don't fucking know. But
so you gave me a really good example of this, actually. You said that when they were in the cinematic interactive scenes, it was like a tier 1 kind of Star Citizen experience.
Yep.
And when you were out of them, so normal combat, it was tier 4. It was significantly worse.
Significantly worse. Significantly lower detail. Like there was one time where they tried to do a smooth transition from it, and it was like it was not smooth. That's for sure.
I'm interested to see how the tier 0 to tier lowest tier of Star Citizen transitions work. Like, are you talking to Admiral Bishop on the crew of a ship, on the deck of a ship, and everyone else is the lowest tier? Does that look odd, or does that look fine?
Yeah, that's the real question, and it's hard to compare because we don't have it. But what I said was what we know now, and what I think we can expect is that they will do a better job at that. So, and Dagook mentions in the chat, there were so many random ass loading screens that just come out of nowhere and just break the immersion of
during
the story that you're in. Yeah, it was like, what the fuck is going on here? Why?
That was weird.
Why did you just do that? It broke everything.
Now I didn't play the single player at all, but I was watching Twerk stream, and there is something that stood out to me that I really, really liked, and I brought this up to Twerk, I brought this up to my channel, is when in the EVA, when they had the melee combat, on
Yes.
how they
Yeah.
either just pulled off,
Fuck.
rip the helmet off, or ripped out oxygen hoses and pushed them away, and just watching the person like freak out and panic. That was
it
probably my
doesn't
favorite part of watching the entire single player stuff.
And I'm assuming you would want to see something like that
Definitely,
in Star Citizen,
definitely.
right?
Yeah.
Now it doesn't, like, let's say they don't put the tether thing in, fine. But if you sneak up on somebody in EVA, you could totally do the open their
Disconnect their
grenade,
oxygen.
right?
Yeah.
Open their grenade, break their helmet, and open the oxygen,
That was
right?
the other thing. There was such a variety of those kills, like different types. Like,
What's
so when
there though?
I've
Or
only
were
played a
there
little
two?
bit. I've only played the single player, and I
There
think
were
I've seen
2
three.
Bored. Okay, maybe
You
3.
sneak up behind them as well.
I never snuck up behind anybody, so that's 3. It just rotated
Okay.
between the 2
Oh,
from.
was it only that? Okay. So I
It was-
literally.
There was not enough variety, and I think if we know something from Star Citizen, we'll get quite a bit more variety if they decide to do something like that.
Okay, so the dogfights people were comparing a lot to Eve Valkyrie.
I've never played that. Have you?
Okay. No, I haven't.
I haven't played it either.
How did you guys have a VR and you haven't tried that?
But I've got a Vive, and I can get it working.
Oh,
now,
because
I
it's
can.
only Oculus, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can get it working.
Ah,
on the Vive,
okay,
so
gotcha.
There's
we'll-
also
we'll get that
Gunjack
now.
or something, right?
Yeah, there's Eve Gunjack, which is like the old arcade beachhead games. So you're just a turret going bum, bum,
Yeah.
bum, 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 bum. And that's just a experience. But
The other thing too is we're watching this video here of you just finishing up gameplay, and I was here when this I was here when this happened, and it said land on the Retribution.
Yes.
And
the
I
name
was
of
like,
the big ship is the Retribution.
their big capital ship is also called the Retribution.
Yeah, I think that's just a coincidence.
I like the fact in Star Citizen the Retribution isn't built. It's not
Yeah.
finished.
Yeah, it's not done in Star Citizen, at least not yet.
Not even done in the game.
This is something. The landing I thought was actually really cool. This is an idea that I mentioned that I would have loved to. I would like to see in Star Citizen.
I didn't
Auto
like
landing.
it.
Okay, but think if you're gonna auto land,
Mhm.
if you're gonna choose auto land, that is definitely a really cool way of doing it. Instead of the hold N and your ship and slowly goes down to the pad. Why not come on to something like that?
I think the reason they
Because
did
auto
it.
land
and have a robot.
just
I,
go,
no, but I think the other reason that they have the whole N is because if you get attacked halfway through that transition, you don't need to
stop.
You can stop it and get out of there right away.
Fair, but now how about at like hero landing locations like Terra, Earth,
We don't.
ArcCorp,
Yeah,
places like,
we don't know. But yeah,
I think they
obviously
will
we don't
be
know
done
if they'll
similarly
be
to
there,
that
but
for
just
that.
like you, Source, with the melee kills in EVA,
Mhm.
it's something that I would love to see implemented. I thought that was something kind of cool. It was smooth, it was slick. I thought that was neat. So I guess in a way, I got my $60 worth with that by being able to see a few features that I'd like to see in Star Citizen, and definitely make some comparisons to Star Citizen. Also, the news people. Did you see their names in
INN?
INN. I thought that was pretty funny.
really.
So they're
I thought you were just joking around about that, just because they were.
No,
news
no,
the
people.
name of the newscast was INN. It was pretty funny. So, Source, what have you been up to this week?
So I've been playing a lot of Star Citizen. Unlike you guys, or just like you guys rather, I
played
have
today.
also been playing a lot of
Call of Duty?
Call of Duty, yeah. And I mean, it's been all right. Now I'm the opposite of you guys. I've been playing multiplayer and multiplayer only.
Source was like, "Do you want to play multiplayer?" I was like,
See, for me, the way, like, I look at this game and everybody's like, "Oh, it's really expensive for a 5-hour campaign," and you guys are the only people I know that bought the game for the campaign. I think the majority of people buy this game for the multiplayer.
Oh,
by
Multiplayer
like
better
a
though, in my
large.
opinion.
What's that? Oh, and that's
Titanfall 2's multiplayer is better for me.
and that's fair. I can't tell you what the difference is in between the two of them. I can tell you that there are some things that are going to be cool to come over into Star Citizen, like in the different game modes and stuff like that. This is a lot faster. This is way faster. Not in terms of respawning and stuff, because I think in StarMarine we're going to see a lot of the fast respawns and whatever. But just, I mean, in the movement and the time to kill and all of that is, like, insanely fast. But at the same time, this is also my first Call of Duty game. And I've really been enjoying it.
That's cool.
I even though, like, I knew going in I was going to get my ass handed to me. And I was going to get wrecked over and over again. But knowing that, going into it like that, not knowing, like, not having to necessarily really relearn the controls, right? Because it's an FPS, made it a lot easier for me. And for most games, I don't really enjoy learning them on stream. Now, I played this off of stream, like for a day and a half before I streamed it. And, yeah, I mean, I got significantly better within one stream, and it's just a matter of getting used to the mechanics and getting used to the gameplay style and whatever. But honestly, I really enjoyed it, and I look forward to filling downtime with it. So what I've been doing is I'll play Star Citizen for a few hours, then I'll jump into this for like a round or 2 rounds, then I'll jump back to Star Citizen. And I'm probably going to continue that for a while until StarMarine comes out and is stable.
Good luck with that, mate.
Yeah, yeah, so it looks like
we all know the
I'm going to be...
that
so basically, I'm going to be a Call of Duty streamer now. And that's my thing. No, but honestly, the other thing, too, that I've noticed is I don't know the maps. And the maps are the maps are half the battle. So it's like I'm significantly better on like this one. That's like
because you played it a lot.
Like Olisar, and there's another one that's like Grimhex kind of. That's by a black hole. Those ones I played those maps a lot, but there's a couple other maps that I've only played like once or twice, and I have no idea where people can snipe me from or where I need to watch myself from or whatever. But overall, I've had a great time with it. It's been fun. I understand it's not for everybody. Not everybody's going to enjoy it. But it's a nice change of pace, especially when your ship's getting blown up over and over at Grimhex and you can't do anything. Or you go to Korea and nobody's there and it's kind of slow.
That happened to me this morning.
Yeah.
I was like,
so it's something I can switch over to, it's like a huge shot of morphine, right? It's like, a huge, like, chugging an energy drink and then going back, and then it's okay. And I can deal with the lower pace of maybe it being not so busy or whatever.
I do hope that the gameplay is totally different in Star.
Yeah, the gameplay is already totally different.
Well, it's just,
right?
It's just,
the gameplay's
I'm not
more.
a massive fan of run and gun.
Right,
run and gun
right. Well, my
argument
to that is, it's probably right now the most run and gun it's going to be. Once they add in the more mechanics, it's going to be even less so. Whereas
very tactical, right?
Yeah. I mean, you don't really have the different armor sets and stuff like that, like you'll have in Star Citizen. You don't have, you'll notice that when I'm playing this, you don't, not only me, but you don't see anybody else really stopping and like
sliding occasionally.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Later on, I got into sliding even more. And that's a really cool mechanic. I'd like to see in other games as well. Maybe not to the same.
It was the guy that was running around like a dog.
Ridiculous. Oh yeah, so those robots. That's their like ultimate. Is they turn into like a dog thing and they shred you when they come up to you like melee. Yeah. But yeah, all in all, I've really been enjoying it. And it's a nice change of pace while still sort of staying in the same theme. And I've been calling it Battle State Galactic Duty, Starfinity Wars. Yeah, I didn't think about it because it's whatever. But yeah, no, it's been an experience for sure.
Yeah. Has it been worth the money that you spent on it?
For me, yes. Yes, I think I can see myself getting some time in it for sure. It really depends on when StarMarine does come out and how polished it is and how playable it is. Is gonna, like, I'm assuming that when it comes out, all my time is gonna be spent on that, obviously. But that being said, who knows, going on in the future. It seems like a nice in-between game, and it's popular enough that I can jump in, get into a match for 10 minutes, and then jump out and go and do something else. And that's what I really like about it, is being able to jump in and jump out and sort of stay within the same sort of space theme.
Yeah, I'm thinking of I think I might try the zombie thing and see how that goes. And then I think if I get some time in zombies and people play and enjoy it with us, then I think I've gotten my money's worth. I think we got my money's worth for the stream, but I think
I think
definitely worth it.
Another game
personally.
I'm looking at right now is DayZ EXP has just gone back up to the experimental branch, and they've added, the graphics look amazing. Actually,
even better.
I'm gonna see if I can pull up some images. But not only that, is they now have dynamic shadows.
Sick.
So
can you still not loot anything, and does all the mechanics in the game just still pile as shit?
No, you can do that. So here's an in-game screenshot of one of the forests, and you'll see it on my stream here in a second.
I tried playing it, but it was so buggy. It was,
it's definitely an early access game. It is a lot better. The frame rate's a lot better. The
frame rate was
visuals are
great,
a lot better.
That looks fantastic.
They just added wolves and wolf packs and things like that. But yeah, the shadows thing is cool. I'm gonna see if I can find it. I'm on the subreddit here real quick. I just want to see if they have something with, there's occlusion with shadows now. Before, you could just shine your flashlight through building walls and stuff like that. But there's one where a dude is running through the forest with a flare, and you can see his shadow moving as he's running with the flare, and the flare's changing where his shadow is, and it looks really, really good. And I've played it a few times on my own time, and it's been really awesome. I'm gonna see, I'm just looking real quick. I know I'm scrolling through the Reddit here. Yeah, I don't know if I can find it. But yeah, if you get a chance to check it out, I would definitely, especially if you have DayZ already, I would say check it out. And if you want to try it off stream, Twerks, at some point, let me know.
I'm down.
But yeah, it's something else I'm looking at doing outside of normal, because that's not really a game you can jump in and out of. It's a game you're in, and you're in for a while. So it's either I stream it, but at a different time, or I don't stream it at all.
Gotcha. Do we want to move into what some of our content creators have been doing this last week?
Can I just bring up something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, Bored.
So this year I ran or helped run a British CitizenCon event called BrisbaneCon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And we're running another one on the 22nd of April in 2017. And if people are interested in coming, wherever you are in the world, it's brisbanecon.uk. There's also a crowdfunding campaign that Chris is running to help fund that. Chris Franklin, not Chris Roberts. I don't think he needs any money for a
He's good at
BrisbaneCon.
those crowdfunding things.
He is. I wish that Chris Roberts was running our crowdfunding campaign. But yeah, so guys, if you can check that out, I will link it in here before it. Your bot's going to kill me, isn't it? It's going to burn me.
No, you're subbed.
I am subbed.
And it doesn't matter. Yeah, you're good.
Oh, and that was the other thing I wanted to say briefly. Amazon Prime subs. I feel like I can say this because I'm not a Twitch partner. So if you're on Amazon Prime, you're able to subscribe to your favorite streamer, basically for free. But every month it gets removed, and you have to set it again. So you can always move that love around to your favorite streamer to a different streamer, or just remember to use it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, just remember to use it, whether it's on the same person that you're sub to with Amazon Prime, if that's what you want to do, or if you want to spread the love around, do it. But don't let it go to waste, and remember that it is a once a month thing that you do have to manually do.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
and
manual.
and if you don't like, this is, I don't care if this is sellouty, because I honestly think it's worth it. I don't care if you choose to use it on me or not. But the value of Amazon Prime went up significantly when they did that. So if you have Amazon Prime in your area, it's pretty friggin' sweet. You get things in 2 days. People wonder why I got my Thrustmaster joystick so fast. Prime.
Same day,
That's why.
same day delivery for me.
Yeah.
Same day. If I order something, I could probably order something now, and it will come in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
That's how good they are sometimes.
So the value plus the free Twitch sub for a year it's already there. But yeah, let's talk about what our guys have been up to. So the first thing is Aliciana made a post on the Redacted website that's really good. I'm going to link it in the chat here. It's on slavery and Star Citizen, which is pretty neat.
Lots of
And
people have been asking about it recently as well.
yeah, she's gotten a lot of love on. She got a lot of love on Twitter. People said a lot of nice things to me about it. She's got a lot of likes on the website. So make sure you guys check that out and read it and comment and hit the little heart button on there and let her know that you like her work. I enjoy her work. I think she's a shining light on our team here. She does really, really great stuff.
It's really well put together.
Always well put together, and just she's a great writer. I envy. I don't know if I envy her. I look up to her and her.
She
her style and
inspires us
everything.
to write better.
Yes.
And go, oh, I certainly couldn't write Star Citizen content like that.
Yeah. And then this is something I actually want to have a discussion more about than anything. I'm going to put the link in the chat here as well. But Noobifier has been. Before we go to Noobifier, actually, let's talk about Extra Life first. We're going to do Extra Life. I believe it'll start next week. And if anybody out there, it's not limited to Redacted people. If anybody out there, Matauchi is trying to put something together for the Star Citizen community as a whole. So he's trying to put something together for Extra Life that we can all get together and all support some kids that are in need. So we didn't want to make it like a Redacted thing. I think it's important to open that kind of thing up to as many people as possible and do as much good as possible. So contact Matauchi, and I'm going to put his link in his Twitch link in the chat right now, so you can hit him up there, twitch.tv/Matauchi, for any information on that. And I think I'm going to talk to him tonight, and we'll get some more solid info out there on that soon. Now, Noobifier put a video out on the Super Hornet sale, and there's like a little LTI CCU workaround that he did. I don't necessarily want to talk about that much, but
it still requires using real money, so it doesn't do anything.
You still get it somewhat cheaper.
Somewhat cheaper, but there's still real money.
And I'm not necessarily talking about that. It's the community as a whole has been up in arms about this sale, and I don't understand.
I get it.
I don't get it, but if you get it, help explain it to me, that side.
So
of it,
while I'm not upset about it, and I look at it as something very minor, I can see why people are upset about it. Number one, we're told that the earlier we purchase things, the cheaper they're going to be, right? And that things are only going to go up over time. Number two is, if we have money in the project, that money should be unbiased money. It doesn't matter what it's going towards, as these are not ships you're buying, but these are rewards for putting money into the game. And so you should be able to choose what those rewards are, irrelevant to what you initially spent it on. You should be able to choose that. So I do understand where people are coming from, where it doesn't make sense, where new money should be equal to whatever money is in there already, because the dollar is equal the dollar. And if anything, that money from 2 years ago or whatever that you may have in there from melting a ship or whatever is actually worth more due to inflation. So it's kind of, but at the same time I see why CIG does that, because they want to bring more people in and they want to bring more new money in instead of just sort of recycling the same old stuff. Otherwise, there's no point in doing
that without causing issues and anger by reducing the costs of starter packages.
Yeah.
If they did occasional discounts on starter packages, the Up in Arms community wouldn't be there. People wouldn't care about $10 or $20 off that, but they do care if it's $10 or $20 off a Super Hornet.
Look at how the community reacts to when they put up the $30 packages. When was it? Last year, the year before?
Oh
For
God,
the starter
the
packages.
20, they went
Right
so
now,
fast.
the problem with that is they put it up as a limited amount.
Yeah.
But that being said, I agree with you. I think that if they are going to do that on the actual game packages.
Starter packages. Make Squadron 42 for free for a limited time when you buy Star Citizen. Stuff like that. That's great because then people won't get so annoyed because they're getting more people into the game and it doesn't look like they're trying to sell more expensive ships, which they are. And they are.
But right now, it just makes it look like they're selling ships instead of rewarding ships for backing, which is what they should be doing. They should be rewarding for saying that, this is a little bonus. Thank you for backing Star Citizen, for supporting the project, not buy this ship. And I think that's how people are looking at it, and so that's why people are upset about it.
Okay, I guess I could see that. I could see that point of view. I don't think we care that much, but
if I had a Super Hornet and I bought it like last sale, I'd be a little bit annoyed.
I bought it at that price. So I'm not annoyed.
Well, I don't know, but it's knowing if your money was really
oh man, you got it for $15 cheaper than I did, or however much. Like
it is only a small amount.
I mean, like look at
small amount.
And the other thing too is when those starter packages were available, they were also available with credit, I think.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the other thing too, right? So you're also looking at but you're also looking at people who have gift cards can't use those gift cards towards that. You're looking at anybody who melts down ships or anybody who has money sitting in there waiting for any sort of sale now can't use it for that sale. And I think it does sort of leave I don't really care personally that much. It does sort of leave a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I can see it.
And I understand why people.
I was a little bummed out that I couldn't get the Polaris.
I think
I planned on using store credit.
I think that exactly. I think
I was a little bummed out.
The other thing too is it's also getting a lot more attention than it normally would because of where we're sitting with content, with updates, with things. Yeah, not where you're actually
people have
physically
nothing to
sitting.
talk about.
Right. So you get something like that, it's going to get a lot more traction.
And how about this? Why do sales when you're in a quote unquote lull in content? I think you should be doing sales when it's like
when there's a lot of
game
content,
looks
when
awesome.
you guys just showed something.
Click.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean, like we've said, most podcasts, they're definitely learning as they go. This is the first time they've ever done anything like this. So.
And the other thing on top of that as well is you can't use your subscriber discount on those discounted chips either. Which, once again, should not be relevant because if you're saving money on one thing, why would it matter if it's on this or something else? You know what I mean? Like, some of the decisions they make just don't quite mesh and don't really make a lot of sense sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I said, while I'm not personally upset about it, I don't care that I spent $165 on a Hornet. I didn't melt it down to get a new one. That's fine. But I do understand where people are coming from, and I understand from both sides. But I do have to sort of side with the people on this one.
Okay. I would personally like it if CIG, if they have discounts, they allow us to use store credit.
Yeah.
That would solve a lot of stuff. If they do that, then I'll at least allow the early backers to not put in more money if they don't want to. That's my opinion. I'm not sure if there's a constraint behind the actual store system for that you can't have a store credit applied to something that's on discounted already.
I don't think there's definitely not any restrictions.
Okay.
If they've built what they've built, there's no restrictions on those kind of things, 100%. And if there is, then they're put in there. I don't ever want to hear that as an excuse. Basically, BoredGamer. I think that's an excuse that if they ever pulled that, people should call them the fuck out for that because that would be horseshit. That would be something that would be implemented on purpose to to
Yeah.
to do that, and I don't think that's the case.
That's
Well,
right.
the other thing is, I know they don't want store credit to be used continuously and moved about. Hence why they have the tokens.
Right.
But
once again, that's still something I don't agree with.
No, totally. I am playing devil's advocate, just throwing reasons at you.
Yeah, I think you should be able to arrange and rearrange that pledge however you see fit to get the rewards that you want for pledging however many dollars that you put in.
I actually would love to see that at some point where it's just I'm at this tier and I get to choose these things. So like I can pick, like almost like it might even work better. It's like, okay, you've spent $1,000, so you have this many tokens, and this ship is worth this many tokens, that ship's worth that many tokens, and you just mix and match, and when the game comes out, then you have what you start with, and then you roll with what you got.
The issue is that if it doesn't become more simple during sales, me and Noobify will get together and we will build a website that tells you what you can buy when and how to get the cheapest. Yeah. They need to make sure that they.
We'll make a sales.redacted.tv.
It goes. You can buy all these ships cheaply,
and build some sort of matrix.
Yeah. But that's what it is, because ThriftBot, one of my favourite parts of sales is literally going, can I get anything cheaper than I currently have right now, and effectively get more money on my account without spending more money. That is actually something I enjoy, because I'm a no-life virgin. But I really enjoy.
We're all virgins here. We're all virgins.
We are. Wow. It's,
we're all Star Citizen virgins.
It's part of the job.
But yeah, I think I understand now. So I'm glad you kind of cleared up what the community was so upset about, because I don't really go to Reddit, so I didn't know.
And to be honest, I saw it on Reddit briefly, but a lot of those things are my personal thoughts on it and whatever. But.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it makes
pretty
sense.
much everything.
Moving forward on...
moving backwards on the dock a little bit.
Oh,
because we forgot to mention this. We have a giveaway.
Yes.
We got another monthly giveaway.
I don't know if
the link in chat.
I don't know if your command has been updated. You should probably update
My command has not been updated because I forgot, so I'm just going to slam the link in the chat for now instead of the monthly command. Thank you for actually reminding me. I'll do that right now.
I typed in !1 monthly and there's a bit.ly link, and I'm like, he definitely hasn't updated that.
No. Oh, sweet. Zeus did, though, because Zeus is the man.
There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, it's in there. So ! monthly for our new Gleam giveaway. It is the
starter package
alpha.
with Star Citizen.
Yeah, starter
and
package, the alpha with the Squadron 42 and Star Citizen. So that'll end at the end of the month, and you got your little requirements there to
enter into
kind
it.
of enter and see some of our other Redacted members and show them some love as well. So check that out. Click the link. And enjoy.
That's ! monthly in chat, or it will be in the description down below the video. Because I tell BoredGamer what to do with his videos, because obviously I'm a YouTube pro.
Yeah,
I haven't listened once. There's no links on any of the videos. I actually remove links when he tells me to do stuff like that.
Bored, do not put the link in the video, okay?
Okay, I won't. Will.
Now he doesn't know what to do. We're frying his egg brain right now.
Oh my god.
So what do you guys think about this week's Star Citizen content?
The ATV.
Do you like it?
It was good. I did like it. Yeah.
Nice
I liked
pace,
seeing
right?
the maps. I said I wanted to see the maps. So I wanted to see that. Right, the map.
The map.
The map. Yeah, it's the largest. It's the largest space station they've made so far, which is cool. Number
That's
two,
cool to
I
hear.
don't know if we're gonna see it in the Persistent universe or not. Number three.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's maybe made just for that.
You'll definitely see the assets reused.
You're right.
3.0.
Right. Oh, definitely.
Well, aren't the assets from 3.0 from
they're from
here?
They're from the toolkit for building space stations. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But that specific map, I don't know if we're gonna see it in Star Citizen in the PU. We probably will at some point. I don't know how soon. What I did want to hear more about the blockers with what's going on with that. And I still stand by that. And even with the monthly report, which we're going to jump into later on, we didn't really see that either. But they did I don't think it was so much listen to us. Is they're sticking to their schedule of what studios they're going to in order.
Switzer, right?
And I think that is a studio that is working on the Star Marine stuff. And I think that they could have swapped those around. They should have brought that one in earlier. And like, I think that they're too strict with what I mean, I get the schedule where they go LA, Austin, UK and Germany and stay in that loop. But I think that this would have been an outlier case where it would have been nicer to see that stuff a little bit earlier. And I think they would have had it.
You said there wasn't really anything to do with the blockers. So elaborating slightly on that, they did mention in the monthly report and in that ATV that they're working on network sync to reduce lag,
right,
the client remote animations, adjusting maps, game modes based on feedback. I think those are basically the blockers.
Right.
Okay.
I'm just going back to where we had a blocker list before. I just want it to be very clear. That's all. I just want to know what the blocker list is. That's all.
Just something nice and simple. Just a quick forum post saying these are the current blockers.
Here's
we're
the
working
blocker
on
post.
them.
Yep.
Bam.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And that's that.
Yeah. I do kind of want to talk a bit more about the map in a little bit, but the monthly report came out, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I'm just going to throw the link in the chat if you guys want to read it on your own at some point. That's there, and I'm sure Bored has a video on the monthly report as well,
and a post on the
I'll link later.
Website. Yeah.
And a post on the Redacted website. I should have actually linked that, but I didn't.
You're a
monster.
So, well, we also have the live stream next week, and I wanted to talk about this a little bit.
Yeah, it's coming up soon, isn't it?
Yeah, it's next. It's next.
And
Friday.
they're usually bigger and longer than the events.
Yeah, much longer because they, at least the last one, didn't they go to each studio and kind of, what are you working on? But now this one's really interesting and weird because they told us the focus is on ships.
Okay, so
how are they going to do this?
Because, as we saw in the monthly report, the Bengal, the Javelin, and the Idris are pretty much done.
So we're going to see them, huh?
And
you think we're going to get some walkarounds?
Well, yeah, the Vandal ships are done as well. They're on the Driller. They've just moved on to the Hunter, which is the Destroyer class. I assume the King ship's finished, because I assume it's a very important part of Squadron 42. And I think that they're going to be able to go, guys, look at the stuff we can move around these ships. We can use these ships in the game now. I think it's going to be actually good. I think the ship pipeline is kind of not a good way of putting it. I think that hides what they're probably going to show, in my opinion. Don't shoot me if it's just like, and this is how we make some ships. Oh God.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, for me, and I talked about this a bit on stream. I think we actually talked about a bit on last week's podcast. Is I'd really like to see this be the Big Bang. This is where it ends, with the ships being the highlight of things,
the driving force of funding.
Yeah. So for the last 2 years, man, I can't wait to fly this ship. It's going to be so awesome. Man, I can't wait to see this ship in my hangar. Was kind of what we would say. And
I'm kind of over that. I'm over ships.
Source, you are not the only one. I think the whole community now, they and me included, it's right on the tip of our lips is that gameplay, right?
Yep.
So I think I hope that this is the last hurrah of ships being the focus, and it'll be really cool for them to go out with like a big bang, show us a bunch of cool stuff, and then in the next stuff, like let's say we do not see Star Marine. Let's say we do not see Squadron at this.
Yeah.
I'm almost okay with it if this is it. You know, from now on, what I'd like to see from the holiday live stream and all ATVs and RTVs going forward would be something like, we are working on patch 3.1. Here are all the
Here's
look
some
at this
of the
gameplay that we're putting in. Look at how awesome this is.
Look at these new cities. Look at these new areas. Look at all the new things that the AI can do. Look at the new missions coming in.
Let's discuss design on this game mechanic, right?
Yeah.
But then, hey, we threw 2 new ships in there. Go check them out for 5 minutes. You know, And I think once they start selling that, that's when this is really going to be.
Well, that's when they're selling the actual game.
Yeah, and it'll be fantastic. So I like to some extent that it's solely, or we think it's solely on ships, right?
I think people still want to see like the Banu Merchantman, you know, the whole series, the ship reworks of the 300 series, and all this other stuff.
We definitely want to see.
Definitely want to see it. We just don't want it to be the focus, and I want to make that very clear. It's not that we don't want to see that stuff.
We of course want to see it.
Right now, that's sort of been the core of everything, right? Is we've seen that as a major driving factor of a lot of things, and I think that we want to see that as the extra, the little the side to the main course, if you will. So,
and to some extent, that's not fair to the artists that work their asses off on these things. Like
those ships should be there to enhance and flavor the gameplay.
Yes.
So those artists making beautiful ships, that's for the gameplay purposes. And with those ships, a lot of them we've had to fantasize about their gameplay, which is why they sold so well, because people were like, oh my god, Banu Merchant,
I'm going to do this in this ship, right?
But now that's all a little bit more bitter, those ships, because we've got the sweet dessert of gameplay. As you correctly stated, it's made us go, well, the gameplay's coming. So I don't have to fantasize so much anymore. Give us the gameplay. And I think you're right. I think we're going to start to see funding based on gameplay and gameplay mechanics.
Yep.
As people get into the game, which is cool, because then it's not just about the fantasy of the ship.
Yeah, exactly. And I hope that's the direction that they go in the future. And I think it. I don't know how you guys felt, but when I heard originally that it was just going to be about ships, I was like,
I hope that it's not. I'm gonna say personally, and I'm not speaking for everybody on Redacted. I'm not speaking for everybody on my channel. I'm speaking for myself. If all they do is show ships, I'm gonna be really disappointed.
If it's capital ship battles, though, I don't give a fuck. I'll be eating that.
For
like a couple of months.
If they just show ships that aren't gonna be in the next immediate patch, then I don't care.
Okay. So I think I would have been feeling the same if I hadn't read the monthly report. If I didn't read that these capital ships were done, I'd be like, oh, it's just going to be a sales fest. And I understand that CIG, they're allowed to sell stuff, and they want to sell stuff.
And we want them to sell stuff.
Right.
Yeah. We get more game for our money, effectively. The more people that back, and we get a large community, and that's cool. But at the same time, as you said, we want that gameplay now. We're after gameplay.
Yeah. Okay, so if it's going to be focused on ships, let's assume that we're not going to see those things, right? Like Squadron and Star Marine. Let's assume it. I think a cool way that we like what I'm hoping to see is not just information on ships, but if they show some content about the Banu Merchantman, we might find out more about the Banu. We know we're going to see the Prowler, right? We finally get to see and maybe hear things about the Tavaran. So there's going to be more to it than just ships, I think.
Right. I'm just saying that if it was really just that, it would be. I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think people are a little burnt out on just hearing about just ships. I know I am, and so I think that
Citizen Trick says, streamers need gameplay, so of course you guys are over ship content. I don't think we're just speaking for us. I think we're kind of speaking for a majority of the community at this point. Yeah. But hey. To each his own, right?
But we do have it is next week, so it's coming up quick.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, should be fun. In the weekly log, there's a little more detail in there from Disco. So I'm gonna throw that in the chat as well for you guys. If you guys haven't seen that, there's a link in the chat for you guys to see a little bit more detail on what's going to happen this week. We get a Bug Smashers. It might already be up. Actually, it wasn't up the last I checked. So after the podcast,
can find that out. We'll find out real quick.
Yeah.
The Asperia Prowler contest.
Yep.
Which I did enter into.
You did? Do you want to show your entry on stream?
I can. I just need to find it.
Okay. Yeah, and people are saying that Bug Smashers is up. So if you guys want to watch that after the podcast, please hang out, enjoy with us today. But other than that, the Asperia Prowler thing is going on where during the live stream they are going to give what was it, 5 brand new prowlers out to
5 prowlers and 1
Polaris.
Polaris with a
one
prowler.
Polaris.
So this
Wow.
is my prowler. It's based on the Plymouth model.
Oh wow, that's actually a really good one.
So
Nice.
I said my thing was sorry for winning, and then I basically took a picture of the prowler, like the actual car, and turned it into a spaceship with a little side dock.
That's actually quite a good idea, dude. Nice.
So I don't know. I thought it was funny.
I thought that's a really good idea. Mine was terrible. I'm not gonna show mine.
But that was the point. Is they were supposed to be really bad. Like I didn't spend like if for anybody that does actually know my channel or any of my actual content, I'm very anal about when it comes to like my different design and whatever. And yeah, no, that was just for fun and whatever. Are you ready to talk about some lighting?
Yeah, well, it's more about the Star Marine map, I think, and discussing that a little bit more. So. They obviously chose a really good person. Emra seems really comfortable on camera, and he does fantastic work.
That footage on stream, I'm not sure how hard that is. It's a start of ATV.
Yeah, he's got it.
It's playing right now.
It's already up.
I got you.
He's really comfortable talking, and he's really good with explaining the work that he does, I think. So we definitely have... This is Echo 11 that we're looking at. Very Grimhexy, right?
I'm so excited for this station.
Yeah, he gave a little lore behind it that it was, just similar to Grimhex, a derelict station taken over by pirates.
What was it originally? It wasn't a mining station, right? It was something else.
I don't know. I don't remember if he said it either.
They did say, and I remember they said it, and I was like, oh, that's neat.
Now, the thing that I looked at that I liked was that there were multiple rooms that were very distinct from each other that you can give callouts, and they're all connected by corridors. So there's choke points, and each room is different. So you can say, I'm in this room, we're meeting in that room, fight in this room, all sorts of stuff like that, which I thought was pretty cool. So there's definitely going to be choke points, grenades being thrown outdoors.
Definitely says Comrade there.
Yeah.
Relay there.
It does say Comrade, yeah. So maybe it was like
it was a communications thing. I think it was a comm hub or something like that they took over.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's
like an ICC probe or whatever.
Yeah, but like one of the big ones.
Yeah.
Look at this man and his lumberjack beard.
So I thought it was really cool looking. I thought it was a good little update. It was short.
Yep.
It's hard to get a sense of the map other than the style of it, right?
Right.
So the one thing that concerned me a little bit about Star Marine and the time
Concern
that it might be coming out is we only saw one map.
Yeah.
So is the other one not ready?
I think that the smaller one, like the 4v4, because that is obviously the 12v12 map. I think the 4v4 map, I think they just maybe want to leave it as a surprise. I mean,
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that because now they've shown at least one of the larger of the two, and you can see the detail in it. It is impressive. It looks awesome.
It looks great. It looks fun. It looks like it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I want surprises in the persistent universe during this phase of development. I don't mind if they showed me at like the lowest level of white box. I'd be happy to see blueprints. Just be interested. I mean, that's I am a greedy.
I would like to see. I would like to see floor plans, like official floor plans.
Am I okay with that? I'm okay with it if it's not even done and they just go, yeah.
You know, the second this map comes out, there's going to be floor plans on Reddit.
Yeah, I'm gonna make them.
Yeah,
good.
Actually,
release
I made the Korea ones. I'll make them for these as well.
You kept the Korea ones for yourself though for ages. Like
for a little while.
For a
while. But no, I made the only reason I kept them for myself is because I was saving them for the Redacted site and I had to write something up for it. That honestly is the only reason.
You got to talk to Elysiana, man.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do is I'll make the assets and I'll just give it to Elysiana and be like, here you go.
Help,
pressure.
Please.
Here, no pressure.
Writing.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah. you are right good.
They gave us a game support update. They talked about the Evocati and some playtest. It was cool. It was interesting. I mean, still, my favorite part was seeing Proxus on there.
Yeah.
a couple times, and how comfortable he was on camera was
Having
was
him
cool.
talk. Yeah. No, it was awesome to see him. On
Absolutely.
the like, it's very much sunk in that he's on the other side now.
Yeah.
And he's working there and whatever. But it's cool to see
The
him.
other side.
Oh,
yeah.
on the like he's on the development side, right? We're on the non-development side, and it's cool to see him there because I know I've known Proxus for a very long time, and I know that this is something he really wanted to do. And yeah, I'm super proud of him, and I'm happy to see him. I miss him. I miss him like fuck in my channel.
We don't talk to him much
angry at me
anymore.
every day, just screaming at me for doing something wrong on the website.
I used to talk to him hours every day.
Yeah.
Every day, and you know now
Now
I
he's a
don't.
busy-
I
he's a
talk
busy
to him
little
maybe
bee
once
now.
a week,
Yeah.
and busy guy, but he's doing what he loves, and so I'm super happy for him, and it's awesome to see him.
Surprisingly good on camera as well. Like, so you see people. Some people are surprisingly bad at camera. Some people, but it was just like new to it. It's just like bam.
Dude, I sit on a stream in front of a decent amount of people every day, and when they put the camera in front of me at Gamescom, I froze. I couldn't do it. So I thought Proxus did really well. I was like, I really like that I met people. It was cool. And they, like, out of all the streamers from Gamescom that got interviewed, mine was like super short, and they kept my face off the camera for like half of it because I was so cringy. It was awesome. So yeah, I mean, I thought he did really well on camera, where I don't know if I would have done as well. They talked about the UI a little bit, so that's I think another thing that might be holding up 2.6. I don't remember. I didn't see any computer dates of when they recorded this stuff, like on the computer screens. So it's hard to judge how far away they are. But they kind of just talked. Go ahead.
Did you see on the newsletter the reworked M3A laser cannon?
No, I didn't.
So,
I didn't get the email for the newsletter. I didn't see it.
I'll link it in the chat on your channel.
Okay.
So I think one of the things that might be slowing down 2.6 a little is the AC quality of life stuff. I do think they are reworking the weapons for AC. I didn't think the rework was going to be visual. I thought it was just going to be numbers. But I actually think they're bringing a load of the weapons up to quality.
Okay. I mean, art assets, right?
Yeah. But they look a lot better to me than that one.
Oh, that looked fantastic. Yeah. But where was I going? Oh, so the big thing that I noticed, and I wanted to have a discussion with you guys a little bit about this, is they discussed matchmaking and how they're going to do it, or how we kind of have it now. He called it second gen matchmaking, where you join a lobby with your friends, and then you join a game. So group up, then join. Other games do it other ways.
It tries to find a game for you that's a match for your type and your. I assume it meant also skill, but I don't know.
Yeah. Most games do skill. Like with Call of Duty, for example, it'll try and match me up not only with people that want to play the same game type as me, but the people that it thinks that we are on the same skill level.
So first implementation of Star Marine, probably not going to get that, right? I wouldn't think so. But
I wouldn't.
I don't know.
I think it would just match you with it.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah. I mean, I like. There's some really, really good dogfighters out there, and I'm sure there's going to be some fantastic FPS players.
Long term, for Arena Commander and Star Marine, you need quick play, like in Overwatch, where you can just jump into a game. It doesn't really match skill. It just
they need to have two different modes. They need to have like a quick play and a competitive mode. A competitive ranked thing where you can maybe unlock different things for your Star Marine loadouts. Or or that's just an idea, right? Or something where it's not competitive, you can just go in with friends. You don't have to worry about your ranking or the leaderboards or any of that stuff.
Yeah. And Matt Sherman said quality, fun matchmaking are insanely hard to do well. That's fine, but you're CIG, so we expect insanely hard to do stuff.
Blizzard don't even do it well half the time. So that's a long-term thing.
Yeah, long-term. I'm not saying first implementation, second. Eventually, sometime down the line, I think it will be very good to have that, because I know that matching up with the same guy in Arena Commander who just absolutely destroys me every time because I'm not good at this game. it sucks.
If they have any form of vision of having any part of Star Citizen esports worthy, they have to have that.
They have to.
do
It
that.
has to be that way if they even want to think about it. They need to have that.
Otherwise, it would just be salty Star Citizen group with matchmaking in this game is crud.
Yeah.
There is no matchmaking. Rah rah rah. Like that's why I left Evolve. I loved Evolve. Loved it. No matchmaking. It just randomly put you with whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like.
So yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. Would you want to see matchmaking in any other way? Like how he mentioned, like Battlefield was you just join this huge lobby, and when a game's ready to start, it starts, and people pop in and pop out. Was there any other preference? I personally like this one.
I would like it. I think that if they do a competitive thing, that they do something sort of based on points or something like that, similar to what Call of Duty or Overwatch or any of those other games do it. I mean, I think they have a formula that works to a certain extent. While it's not perfect, they don't need to reinvent the wheel for something like that. They're reinventing the wheel for so many other things that I think that they just need to stick with what works and what's tried and true for that kind of stuff, right? So I think that if they work on a points-based system or like a win-loss system or whatever it is, however you want to call it, MMR or whatever, I think that that's the best way for them to do it. Like I said, they don't need to reinvent the wheel. The standard is already out there that they could
obviously
they can do that.
We want custom matches as well. So we want to be able to play
your
org versus my org. Boom.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that would be a non-competitive thing, right? You would put that into something that would just be like a quick play where it's like I can put together my team, Bored, you can put together your team, and we can do it on stream or whatever. Or
I would love
test
to have
versus Imperium. The problem with that is that gets skewed too easily. So what you could do is you could say, okay, guys, you could say, all right, we're going to do 4v4s, competitive, and we're going to make both teams, and we're going to choose to go up against both teams. I don't think that works because the way that you're saying, there is a way to make it work, but not the way that you're saying. It would be to go against another team that you don't know.
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
you wouldn't be able to organize both teams because you can't do competitive that way because it's too easy to cheat.
I would like a competitive org mode or a big team mode, but I suppose that's just competitive anyway, isn't it? So
I'd like to see the 4v4.
Like you're almost at war with an org and you get lined up against them. That would actually be really, really interesting. Yeah.
Just like that as a particular kind of leaderboard thing, it would be org v org stuff. So you'd literally go, well,
that
we're
would be
joining
cool.
as a 6-man team for org battle.
Yeah.
And you just take your best 6 guys and you just throw them in there.
Yeah.
I would like that as well.
Org tournaments or something like Star Citizen proxy tournaments or something.
Let's be realistic. We're probably a while off from Star Marine in its first iteration being something that we could deem a fair competitive game.
We were just doing what
I just want
do with
FPS,
ships, right? Like this ship's
we
coming out. Let's think of all the gameplay we can put with it, and then we're like, Star Marine's coming out.
Well, the thing is they have talked about. It's not like we're saying things that aren't going to happen. They've talked about how they want to potentially have esports with it. They want to do that even within the lore of the game and things like that. And I don't think that these are things that are impossible for them to do. I think it's quite the opposite because a lot of this stuff is already sort of set out there with CS:GO, Overwatch, Team Fortress, Call of Duty, whatever, Battlefield. I can go on and on with all the different FPSs. So I think they can do it. So I don't think it's to the same spec of us saying, oh, this ship's going to be able to do this, and this is how this mining mechanic's going to work, and all this stuff, because we have a precedent set already for this. We don't have a precedent set for mining with ships and asteroid fields and all of this other stuff. I think we're a lot closer to the ball with this if they want to do esports with FPS.
Yeah.
Moving on to animations.
Yes. So that was actually the main focus of the I think of the ATV, right? Is they spent a lot of time on the animation stuff. Where
Brian Brewer also looks like a childhood friend of mine.
Does he really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
I saw him and I was like, wait a minute. Okay. Different name,
Said
obviously.
They have reused the helmet flip. Woo!
Yeah, I put that in there that the helmet flip is back. He's like we're watching it right now. It's in the right
Did
behind him.
did you ever think it wasn't gonna come back though? Like really?
Yeah.
Like it was obviously gonna come back.
Yeah. It had to come back.
How about
But-
that space mop?
So that while like seeing that was kind of like space mop, like who cares?
Face map.
But then you
It
start
works into the
thinking-
whole subsumption with the different jobs and
yeah
things
but
like that.
I think what actually gets me excited about it is they did a lot of that and they called it like a PU mocap.
Mhm.
A lot of the stuff was PU mocap this time around. So I really think they're gonna
Yeah, it's for the AI.
yeah. So my thoughts, like in my mind, what I saw 3.0 being was maybe not as filled with NPCs doing stuff as they actually might be. They're doing a lot of like these random jobs, like somebody mopping the floor.
From what Germany have been saying for a while, it sounds like it doesn't really matter how many NPCs they put on screen now. For memory stuff and performance, they should be able to just do that. It doesn't take up too much of your GPU and CPU. It's literally getting the jobs and making it relevant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's pretty exciting for me. I just wouldn't have expected to see as many. I thought we would see like, a few people around Port Olisar, a few people here, a guy walking around. I didn't think we would see
it was cool to see how they had people animate and how they would figure out where they're gonna sit down and do all of that stuff because they need that for the AI because we know that it's gonna be a 90-10 split, 90% AI, 10% non-AI. And it was cool to see this especially, and I'm gonna pause it right here, was when they showed basically the placemat feature. So the animation knows if something is there, how to act when it's there.
Yes.
Right? So whether it's a plate or a book or whatever, it'll always be in that same spot, like the cup, and it'll put the cup back down there and everything. And I thought that was really cool. It was a good way to deal with that.
Those hand-keyed animations as well.
Mm-hmm.
So basically non-mocapped animations. So I think their example there was a welder. And a guy welding the floor and then welding a thing.
Right.
That had literally been, that's not motion captured at all. That has been hand keyed by artists that were moving a model around. Now, obviously, it's still got its muscle and skeleton system that tell it how to move, but they've done that manually. And a lot of the animations in the persistent universe will have to be done like that, obviously. They can't all be mocap, because mocap's cool, but can't all be done that way.
He doesn't know what to do with his hands. He's got his hands together. It's like
they're not mocaps.
you can tell he just you can see he's just like kind of nervous and whatever. But it's cool, and you can see the helmet flip in the background again. But
and that helmet flip and a lot of this stuff, what they talked about was these things being, what the fuck? What did they call it? Hand keyed. That.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't enough time for them to do the mocap, or they forgot to do it, or whatever, and they need this thing right now.
It's not necessarily that they don't have enough time to do the mocap. It's that sometimes some of the stuff has to be done hand keyed.
Yeah. And the thing is it looks so good, and they're doing it themselves. Mm-hmm. These guys are so talented. He shows himself later. He had the helmet in his armpit area, and then he picked it up. And he moved it, and the animation looked exactly like what he did in real life. And it was just like, wow, that is so impressive to me. And I'm sure that took forever, and like you put so much heart and soul into that. That's so cool to me.
When you see the difference,
I thought that was awesome.
Between a hand-keyed and mocap thing, you do notice a lot of differences. So when you're seeing them step off the tables, there's a load of little nuances of them like moving back that looks a bit odd, but that's how you move.
Yeah.
Compared to when they're like using something like a welder that is almost precision, and you can see that I love the mocap stuff because it does add that little bit of flavor into the verse that makes it so much more immersive.
Yeah, but for the minor things like looking at your gun and that welding animation, obviously it's awesome, but is it that important? Maybe.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And right now we have the animation of when he's restless in the bed. He's moving around,
That
rolling
was
over.
cool too. That was really cool.
Caught him red-handed.
Yeah. Red-handed in the bunks.
Yep.
I also want to mention that I like his Arena Commander shirt and his leather vest.
And the way that the magazines clip through his legs.
Oh, that too. Yeah, but that's not as relevant. That can be fixed. It's just a small thing, right?
Yeah.
They're showing this, and I don't want them to not show stuff like this because
Sorry.
something's
Nah.
clipping through or something.
I love this. Let's be positive. I love
Yes.
this. This is great. Even
I
red.
love that they were. Yeah, I love that they were still willing to show it, even though their hands were red and things like that. So I liked it.
Yep.
It's just, even though it's a little thing, it's just a guy in a bed moving around. It was nice to see, and it was nice to see the variations of all sorts of things that were happening. I feel like it's gonna feel. I know I'm gonna get immersed in this game, but I think I'm really gonna get immersed in this game.
Yeah.
Just because of these little things that they're putting in. It's kind of cool. It's exciting. Let me see. Did we get everything? Oh yeah, metrics was the key discussion. Do you guys remember
Right.
like way back? Like they talked about metrics a lot, and they have been talking about metrics a lot lately, and that they're really focusing on that. And they remember they specifically talked about like the data pad. How okay, we did a data pad animation. Now all data pads have to fit
Have
in
to be
this
the same.
size. Yeah,
Well, that's
so it
it.
has to be the same
That's
to work
basically
with
what I
these
meant
animations.
with the placemat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's those metrics. So everything down to what's on the table, to how the maps are laid out, and to
Ships.
what buttons they're
Seats.
pushing, how they open doors, if they use a slider or a thumb scan or whatever, all kinds of stuff like that. That they need to have those things sort of across the board for
Yeah.
the most part. Like they
Sure,
need
I
to,
thought that
they
was-
can look different, but they need to be in the same place. If that makes sense. Like
Yep.
you can have a plate with 30 different types of food on it, but that plate needs to all be in the same place. That food all needs to be in the same place if they're using a fork to pick it up and eat it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I going back to
Nice
like the
moves.
beginning of the project. Do you remember how it was always
I
like,
remember.
yeah, we need to do that, but this character doesn't fit in that seat, or we're having,
Yeah.
this ship needs to get reworked because
Yeah,
of
there needs
like this. So they're kind
there
of
needs
nailing
to
those
be
things
unifying across the board.
Yeah, and now they are.
Yeah.
And I thought I don't know. I thought it was worth bringing that up because they're doing it right, and it was nice to see that was actually a big
It was
part of the discussion.
really cool. Like I said, with the placemat, I think was the best way they could have shown that.
For sure. Yeah, and I didn't even catch the placemat, so that was a really cool catch, and I'm glad we watched it together, so I got to see that. So that was awesome. The next thing was just some notes on the monthly report. I'm gonna put BoredGamer's link in the chat here, and we can kind of watch it.
Look at
He
this.
did a video
I'll
on it.
even give the vampire an extra view.
Yeah,
and
we'll
we'll
give the
watch it on
vampire
the
an extra
stream.
view.
But you only get one view. You don't get 400 and however many people are here. Just the one.
One view is as important as 1,000 to me.
Aw.
No, but it's an 11-minute video on a pretty long document, and he hits all the important points, which it's cool.
I love the way he does it. Oh, no, that's me.
Oh, the way he does it. Oh my
God, this
fucking
guy.
God.
So, Bored, I'll let you kind of take the reins on this, but I wrote some of the important things in the doc here.
Oh shit! I haven't got my notes up on it. I should be.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
made
do
the
whatever
video,
want. I mean,
you
the
don't
first
remember
thing
it?
was the vertical slice of Squadron. There was a lot of discussion on that.
Yeah. So this is quite cool. This is quite big at the moment, and are we going to be talking about the whiteboard leaky thing later, as well?
Sure.
So the vertical slice of Squadron 42, I believe, is the demo that we were awaiting at CitizenCon. And so a vertical slice, it's best to think of Star Citizen, Squadron 42 as a cake. It's a delicious cake. And a vertical slice is literally a slice of that cake. So you're able to sample what it's supposed to be and how it tastes and all of the different layers of it.
Yep.
But you only get a piece of it. So you get like one chapter in this instance. And we know that they've been playtesting that quite thoroughly and been working on that quite thoroughly with the QA guys, which means it's a playable state for them obviously there's going to be blockers and there's going to be problems with it. Otherwise, they would
Yeah.
have released it already. But for me, that's really exciting that they're actually doing stuff with it, and it's not like a canned project. It's not like a project that we're doing it the holiday live stream, or we'll do it for 2017 or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably the most exciting thing of the whole monthly report for me. But there's also, they've been doing lots of stuff with the item system 2.0 with object containers and streaming those object containers. Now, this is a major kind of, not blocker, but a major part of 3.0 and large ships in the verse.
The
It
object
could be a
containers
major
are the
blocker.
are the big,
Could
the
be.
big
Could be.
feature like buildings and stuff like that on the planets, right? Like they can have like a little landing area, a little house, and things like that. That's what object containers are, right?
Yeah, so, but obviously
Okay.
like that javelin as well. That's an
Okay.
object container.
Okay.
And item system 2.0 is important throughout all ships. Like doors on ships are part of it, elevators on ships. Pretty much every little sections of ships that work, that move, that have operating parts, I believe, are all part of that item system.
Okay.
So that obviously that's incredibly important. In fact, yes, Saurus, you're right. If this stuff doesn't work, it is a blocker.
It could be. It's a potential. Anything that's in 3.0 that's new, or anything that's in 2.6 that's new, is a potential blocker because we don't know what the blocker list is.
Yep, it's a good point.
Yeah.
What have we got down on the list? Because there's quite a lot going on here. Trade Slayer. That was
Man, there's so much
Yeah.
cool shit coming. I'm watching your video and I'm like so excited. Like it's showing the new space station for Levski. You're showing the planet side stuff. Like there's just so much coming in the next two patches. The Star Marine stuff. Sorry.
You're going to
I'm
explode.
just-
No,
yeah.
It's going to be okay. Trade Slayer is a good thing though. So in the monthly report, they talk about how something will get. Well, they're working on how something will get mined, refined, manufactured, and then put on a shelf. So it's literal manufactured life and then being sold as an item, which is pretty cool. I'm glad they're thinking about that sort of stuff now because that's incredibly important to the economic model and why players play. That's going to be a major reason for why players play. They also were working on Price Fixer, which is of a similar vein.
This
where
is
they
interesting.
Well,
The price fixer.
oh yeah, so this is where they will take.
Yeah, that
work
was
out
really
prices.
crazy. You guys must love this part.
Yeah, oh god, yeah. But this is as important as Trade Slayer for me.
It's very
They
important.
take the prices of items and that manufactured cost of those items that have just been manufactured, and they work it out how much a ship should cost at any given time.
Based
I
on
think
its raw
this-
materials and everything, and then like how much it takes to make it, and that I think that's really cool.
I'm looking at this in a totally different way, and I think the entire community should be excited by that thing.
Yeah,
It is basically an algorithm that is going to price ships.
it's gonna price everything, not
Yeah,
just
but it's
ships,
gonna
weapons,
price-
everything.
But think about it in ship-wise. This is why I'm excited about it. More excited about it than any other part of it is that it will price ships in the game with UEC. Then they're talking about that kiosk that they did the mock-up of the kiosk, which the kiosk is how you buy things that are larger than you can carry on your personal self. So components and ships. It sounds like we are moving towards the direction, to me, of buying ships in game sooner than I expected to. So because of these two things that we're reading in the monthly report, I'm deducing that we might not be like, hey, as a streamer or as anybody that is telling their friends about Star Citizen, I think we're on the cusp of getting to that point where we get to say, you can just buy a $60 package and you can buy the rest of the ships in the game. That's exciting. Like they're making an algorithm to make
Without
that
having to
easier on
say, oh,
themselves.
you can do it through rec, and then that's only
There's
playable
one-
in Arena
There's
Commander.
one reason I'm not as excited as you.
Okay.
And that is because it's going to be because it's first implementation. It's just going to be in the alpha. Okay. So
that's fine.
we're not going to know the actual values of ships.
Until the game is live.
Of course not.
But not even when the game is live because it's going to be
'Cause it'll
different from
fluctuate.
System to system.
You won't be able
so
to
much
have-
based on
yeah.
resources.
And not
So
only,
ships
and not
will
even
change
system to
value all
system,
the
just
time.
like from month to month or
Massive.
week to week or
Yeah,
month
'cause
to
there could be,
month.
like, an iron
it's
shortage,
not even.
because-
Yeah, there could be some stupid overdrive pirates holding up some major iron supply.
Okay, so this is a really big thing. Say I have a fuck ton of iron in storage, and I say, Saurus, I need you and your pirate org to go choke iron for the next 2 months to make this 20 billion units that I've got worth 5 times as much. I mean, that sort of stuff is going to be doable in game because of the model they've gone for.
Remember,
That's
they
amazing.
have mentioned that before, though. They're never going to give players a full stranglehold over it. They'll always be able to say, okay, let's introduce another. Oh, NPCs just found a new area of the asteroid belt, and it's fine again. So
It's going to generate loads of missions.
keep that in
for
mind.
players.
But it will generate more missions, and it will allow a lot of that fluctuation will be there, and there will be a lot of natural fluctuation. It's just if it starts to swing one way or the other too much, that expect CIG to step in. Not that you'd even know that CIG's stepping in, but expect them to step in with AI saying, "Oh, AI found a new iron node."
But you would feel the ripples. You'd see that there was loads of missions being generated to hunt pirates and bounty hunting, and we need more minerals. You might see on the CIG website or in the news, like, there's iron shortages and stuff like that. And that kind of gameplay is so exciting for me that it makes my heart feel a bit funny at the moment thinking about that.
It was really cool when they talked about that. I don't really care that much about that side of things for the most part, but when they did talk about that, it was really exciting because it doesn't just affect ships either. It affects all the vehicles, all the weapons, all the ammunition. It affects every physical good, quote unquote, in the game. Right? Anything that you can purchase, all the clothing, all the armor, all the components, everything. It affects everything. It turns it into a real supply and demand, and it will affect that, and there will be that, and that's why it's exciting.
Will NPC hire costs be affected by if food's going up, if there's food shortages, stuff like that? That's quite. I just like that idea. Alcohol's gone up, so all of your NPCs need to be paid more because they need more entertainment money, or whatever. I think it's cool.
And it's
really
one of those
exciting.
things that it sounds like it would be a lot of work, and I'm sure it is a lot of work for the initial implementation. But once it's implemented, then that's it. They don't need to figure out the prices for each individual item. They don't need to figure out whatever. They attribute those materials with that item, and then that's it. It just sort of takes care of itself after the system's been implemented.
In the August monthly report, we learned that they have already nailed down the first 20 commodities that are going to be buy, tradable, and sellable and mineable in the verse. And that was compounded by the fact. Should we move on to the whiteboard?
Yeah, let's go.
We can.
I
can bring up that video.
Cool. So yeah, that's good. So on the whiteboard,
More views for you, right?
they one of the things they had on there was resource spreadsheet, and I think that is referring, and that's for the PU, and I think that's something they are literally working on for 3.0 or 3.0 of 3.1.
Oh, if it was 3.0, 3.1, yeah, that'd be great.
I think they're going to need to have some of that. Obviously, we don't have mining in 3.0.
No, but we can carry resources, right?
We can carry cargo. So some of that might be in there.
That would be cool.
Did you guys get a chance to have a look at the whiteboard?
So I tried to.
I definitely
had
did.
a really hard time reading it. I had a really, really hard time.
I also had a Photoshop edited version where it was flat and it was the full thing.
Oh, that would have been nice for me to read. That would have been nicer on my eyes.
Yeah, it's blurry and it's still kind of hard to read, but it did make it a little easier.
So should we go through just what's on the list quickly?
Sure.
Go for it.
On that board. So we can see October 15th. So we don't know whether that's the date that stuff was given, whether that's just not been updated since then.
Yeah.
We don't know.
On the left-hand side, we have our different categories. So Squadron 42, 2.6, and PU.
Yep. And under PU as like a subcategory, 3.0 needs.
Yeah. And only one thing was checked.
Well, this is for the writers. So this is there's stuff for them. So in the Squadron 42 section, it's people were like originally that people were thinking it's like version 3 and version 2 of stuff, but it's VS, it's vertical slice. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah, VS mission text, so vertical slice mission text, vertical slice Idris dialogue placement, which is checked, and ready room NPC dialogue.
That person has terrible handwriting.
They should be a doctor. That's how bad their handwriting is.
I can read Galactopedia, public lore, Vandal word callouts.
Under 2.6, this might be exciting for some, so hopefully we're getting 2.6 soon.
Big Betty mission?
Wreck mission.
Yeah,
that
was cool.
So I assume that's just going to be reusing the assets from the Gamescom 3.0
demo. Yeah.
But
we actually
I hope so. I want to see that.
demo.
I want to see them put that wreck into the yellow belt or in somewhere where we can actually go around and.
They are also, in the monthly report, it was mentioned that they are adding loads of stuff to Yella. So they're rejigging the way that security works on the station, but they're also making the Yella asteroid belt look a lot better and putting loads of wrecks.
I think they're using their new asteroid tech for the yellow belt as well.
They are indeed.
Excited.
Yes. Well, does that mean there's going to be voxel asteroids then?
Yes.
I
think they'll be.
Destroyed.
I think they'll be voxel. I don't know if they'll have destructible yet. They may, but I don't know. I know that like even now we have the smaller ones are destructible, right? Like you shoot them and they sort of blow up. But that's the tiny ones in Arena Commander. I don't know if they are in Yellow because I don't really spend a lot of time in the asteroid field.
And for 3.0 needs, we've got Mission Giver, NPC lines, narrative threads, which is checked off, which is good because I think that was probably the largest task. Station lore narrative, and then posters, art, new items, or new item for Lorville, Orison, New Babbage, Stations, Area 18 review. So that last bit,
it's interesting.
That's cool to see those landing zones and those areas are planned for 3.0. And that they sound like they're all going to have their own unique view, because I'm assuming, because they've mentioned all those separately, that the posters, art, and items have to be different for the unique feel of each of those. Going between low tech and high tech and whatever.
Yeah.
And I suppose one of the things we didn't mention from the monthly report was the first looks of the concept art
of those landing zones.
Yeah, of Microtech, Kirsten, and what was the other one? Crusader. Obviously
Crusader, which I was not expecting to see the Crusader one. I thought that would have
Cloud
maybe
City
been the last one they were doing, because I thought Cloud City was farther away. But the concept art for some of these
was pretty awesome, and we saw that in the monthly report, right? The concept art for them.
Yeah.
And the Cloud City is interesting.
It looks to look more beautiful than I thought, like clean and beautiful.
Well, I don't think we know what it's like to live on a gas giant, right?
I suppose they're above.
I've done it before. I know what it's like.
Tell me about it.
It's like what it looks like in the pictures. It's windy.
Is it thick?
It's real thick. It's real thick. When you feel it all over your face in the wind.
That has to be the highest level of humidity.
It's pretty wet.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Fuck you guys.
But no, I thought it was cool. I was expecting something different, but I actually was really pleased with what I saw there. So I like that they showed us just concept art. I think they're much further along than just concept art. So I'm looking forward to seeing little sneak peeks at that soon.
It was concept, and then the first iteration progress. They just dropped everything in kind of grey box and then textured it quick.
Can I also mention? I know for myself, this is something I've been asking for, and I think a lot of people would be excited to see this. And I don't think a lot of people notice it, and we don't have it written down. But right now, I have a picture of a turret that doesn't look like it goes on a ship.
Yeah, me and Board were talking about that earlier too. It might be a ground-to-air turret.
Yeah, and it looks like you would go up to this laptop and you would control it from the laptop.
Yeah.
I think it might just be a defense turret, but obviously it could shoot in there as well. Maybe.
It could be a defense
Then
turret.
defense.
I
But
thought it
Like
might
fits
be
in a floor
automatic.
panel.
Because
why
of the
would they
camera on it.
why would they have the laptop then if it was automatic?
Maybe you can turn it on and off and do random stuff with it. Maybe you can control
Oh,
it
maybe.
as well.
To play Call of Duty, obviously.
That's a proper rugged laptop, like a real rugged laptop in real life.
Yeah.
That's really that. I can see each of the keys individually. Wow.
Yeah, it's mil spec.
How long of a battery life do you think that laptop has
23 years.
in the future?
It depends on how strong your vibration function is on.
Yeah. Do you think they have a
iPhones still
1080
only
in it?
last an hour. They've got a 1080 in it at least.
One 1080, come on. It's
SLI,
quad
yeah.
SLI, son. Liquid cooled.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it that we have for today's little news update. Do we want to switch over to some questions? If you guys have,
We can do questions. If you guys have any questions, as always, ! question in chat. Also, remember to get into that monthly raffle. ! monthly in chat for that.
and the ! question, and then fill out the form. A lot of people type ! question and then
type
write
the
their question in the chat.
Fill out
There's
the
a form
form
for you to fill out.
what is your bot's name? EDBot will put
Yeah.
in chat.
Oh, I just wanted to give
From
a quick
Mass
shout
Effect.
out to barcitizen.sc, the website. If people are bored and desperately want to find Star Citizen meetups, go check there. It's got all the details of all the Star Citizen meetups like around the world.
That reminds me, I need to go out to lunch with Joe Roon. He gave me his phone number and I haven't texted him. Feel bad. I've been so busy. And he's the guy who like set up the whole Bar Citizen thing in Florida.
With Sophie Girl, yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And guys, you only need to put it in like once or twice. You don't need to spam it. Just click on the link. That doesn't typing in ! monthly doesn't put you into the raffle. It just gives you the link for the raffle. You guys on YouTube, you're fine. There's a link there. You're good.
Yeah, you don't have to put up with this mess.
Duricket asks 2 questions. His first question is, it was announced by CIG that animations will change based on damage. For example, an arrow to the knee would change your walking animation. Do you think that animations will also change during the runtime? For example, when you get shot in the knee while on the Hornet or while on the ladder of a Hornet.
Yeah, I think they're going to have loads of
hope
animations for that, lots of stuff like that.
I think it doesn't matter where you are in an animation or something like that. That maybe not a ladder. I don't know. I think that you could get if you get hit in the let's say this way. Let's say you get hit in the knee on the ladder. It'll know that you still got hit in the knee, and so it'll affect your running animation. Whether they'll have a different animation for the ladder or not, I don't know. Because then that's adding a lot of different animations.
But
for
actually, thinking about it, they probably don't need to add that many. They only have to do it with each individual crippled limb.
Right.
Probably. Maybe. I mean, again, not game designer or 3D modeler.
Or maybe slow down the speed when you move that limb.
Yeah, or
something.
maybe you just can't use the fast entry and exit.
Yeah, if you have any sort of damage to any of your limbs. Or things like that. And his question number 2 was, do you know if the hitbox of the character is truly matching the rendered character during longer animations like the Hornet? I think the hitbox does not change because it is formed to the character. So it doesn't matter what the animation is. You could be curled up in a ball on the ground. And that if they shoot you, that's how they built it. From my understanding.
That's the main reason for unifying the third and first person cameras is that everything is true. The bullets come out of your barrel. You are where you are. You can get your nose shot off. I don't know that for certain, but I will be trying that a lot.
Yep. Our next question comes from Catafor. He says, do you think you can buy stocks/bonds in a company? And if so, do you think you can open your own company and or become a chairman for that? Also, do you think there'll be insurance frauds, i.e. if you ask someone to steal your ship and sell it for X money, transfer and pay the insurance to the new ship? So let's cover the first question, the first one. So being able to buy stocks and bonds in a company, I think we'll see that in AI companies. I don't think, at least for the first little while, you're going to be able to do that with a company that you own.
I don't know if we'll have stocks. I think we'll definitely, we see the ticker, but I think that's all... we'll have
the commodity prices. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll have stocks. That would actually be something really interesting and cool, though.
Because
some people might be
the
interested
stocks
in that
could be
kind of
then
stuff.
be on how long it takes them to build something and how quickly they get those materials. Like they could use that system we were talking about earlier to affect individual corporations, like brands. Like think of the big ship brands and the big weapon brands. I don't think we're going to see that on a player level where a player will own that. But I think if it is, and I'm not even saying it's going to come into the game, but if it does come into the game, I think it'll come in as those brands that we're already familiar with.
Yeah.
I'd want to encourage players from a gameplay point of view to start with an economy that's untested. I'd want to encourage players to spend money rather than invest money. So that you want to drive the spending of money so there's less money in the verse effectively, so that more money's worth more, so that people have more reason to go out and trade and do missions and fight over stuff. So I'm not sure if investment works in certain economies, and I'm not sure if it will work in Star Citizen. It might, but I'm not sure if I want to see it or not. That's the sort of stuff they have to test a lot to work out whether it's a good fit for the verse.
And with the second part of the question, the insurance frauds, that's something we've touched on many times before. Right now, we just don't know. We don't know how they're going to do it because there is lots of ways that we can think of that you can get around with it with a second account or something that's not associated to your friends and all kinds of stuff. And
insurance is something I'm scared to touch.
I don't know
as a discussion.
how they're going to do it, and we probably won't know that for a while. And that's just the nature of the beast with that one.
The idea of it is that you won't be able to get away with insurance fraud. Yeah. Something's obviously a fraud, or something's a fraud, you probably won't get away with it. That's the intention, at least from CIG. So,
our next question is from Frantic Star, and they say, "Hello. Do you ever discuss in-game party and organization systems and how they affect scanning? So neutral, friendly, or hostile. At the moment, it's a bit wonky and not very practical. Therefore, I'm interested in your knowledge and speculations about this topic. Thanks." So, in regards to scanning, what things are hostile and what things are friendly, I think that's going to be dependent a lot on the reputation system. Number one, for the AI, but with other players, I think it's going to be something that we may see come in. Maybe not right away with Spectrum, but something with Spectrum where your associations with different organizations may be able to be controlled within that. I'm not sure how
orgs
deep
will have a reputation.
Yeah, like
and then that will affect your reputation.
That orgs will have a reputation with each other orgs. So you would have to set it manually to say, okay, look, let's just say I'm gonna mark as an org leader or the people that have the permissions to do this. Imperium is now hostile. And so it'll tag everybody that, if you're in my organization, that'll tag organizations, they'll automatically come up as hostile or whatever. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but I imagine there's going to be something like that. Right now, the way that it works is they're not hostile until they've done a certain amount of damage to your ship, and then they become hostile. There's no way to tell without scanning individually first. And I think that method works for the most part, but the way that I've talked, that if you have your own personal hostile list, you will be able to manually set people as hostile. There might be some sort of app in mobiGlas or something where you can set these people as hostile always, right? So say, no matter what, I fucking hate Twerk17, and he's always going to be hostile no matter what to me. So I can go into my mobiGlas and make sure that he's always tagged as hostile for me. And I think that may be something that they could implement into the game.
I think there'll be a filter where you can go, if this scan meets these requirements, tag as friendly, tag as hostile, tag as neutral. Obviously, when you're in certain locations on ground, we know that there's going to be some forms of scanning. Even if you're on foot, you're going to be able to scan with audio stuff they were talking about. So it'll literally be like a sonar ping. You're not going to necessarily know that that's your friend behind that wall in certain stations, or that if it's a hostile, if it's a neutral. So in some situations, it's not appropriate to be able to tag things as hostile. But hopefully CIG will come up with a good solution.
Yeah. Ratbin asked Twerk17, as a mining enthusiast, how are you planning on starting out on release? Will you jump out directly with the Orion and go full bog, or are you going to grab a prospector and work your way up, or something entirely different? Also want to say thanks to all three of you for an awesome podcast and stream/content.
Well, thank you for the kind words. Yeah, first off, thank you very much. And then I think I would probably go full balls to the wall. Like, let's get an Orion. Let's get like 15, 20, 30 of us, and let's go set up a mining operation somewhere.
The best way to learn that stuff would
is
be
to
for me
go
and
full
Twerk
in, right?
And everyone else that we know that wanted to mine, to all go and mine somewhere and chat while we're mining, going, this is what I've just discovered. This is what I've just discovered.
Mm-hmm.
And
you
then,
see how this works? If you do this, you get a better yield, that kind of stuff. Yeah,
so
definitely.
that's a great idea. And also strength and safety in numbers when you're first starting. We have to ward off those pirates if you've got enough people.
And I don't think like ship specific. I would expect to bring when the game releases, every mining option I think would come with us, so we can learn what works and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Narcto asks all of us, with the Vanduul Hunter just entering the ship pipeline, how many of the different Vanduul ships do you think we're going to see in Squadron 42?
Oh, wow.
We can probably work it out. How many ships did they say were unique in Squadron 42 the other week?
Oh, I don't remember.
It was 100 and something, right?
I don't know, it might have been 40. Was it 100? I can't...
We have 100 and something different ships now.
Yeah, but I think in Squadron 42 Episode 1, I think it's like 40 unique ships. Can someone... We'll come back to this question in a minute.
Yeah.
That's right. If someone remembers it in chat or can link us in chat...
70, somebody said?
Someone says 70.
But that's just one person. So
and I guess that's not counting variants and stuff as well.
It's Jace, though. I do trust Jace.
Yeah, Jace is good.
But that being said, I think we're going to see a good handful of ships for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 10 or more. I mean, we already have the Scythe, the Glaive, the Blade, right? Those are 3 ships we know are coming for sure. We own those ships.
Do you mind if I say others I know about?
No, go ahead. We have that boring ship. We have the King ship.
Spoiler warning. The Driller, the Hunter, which is a destroyer, the King ship, the Cleaver, which is a boarding ship.
What is that little pod with a little thing on it?
That's the Cleaver.
Is that the Cleaver? I think that gets shot from a ship. I feel.
The Harvester Carrier, because it carries multiple harvesters.
That's like a big mining ship.
Yeah, there's a Vandal bomber, and there's the Stinger, which is like a heavy fighter.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we had more than a dozen.
Yeah, and there's probably going to be more that we haven't seen, and probably maybe Vandal escape pods. Maybe.
And maybe something smaller as well, like some sort of swarming.
Yeah.
I just feel.
I feel going to be the swarmy swarm ones.
I feel like there could be something even smaller though. I feel like there's going to be. They just feel very Zerg. They feel very Zerg-like to me. So I feel like it would make sense for them to have a lot of really small, even smaller than the Blade.
Yeah, maybe
like some sort of like
the young.
Yeah, like think of like a Dragonfly equivalent.
Yeah, maybe like just a single blade.
It's not, yeah.
The knife.
Yeah, a knife with a couple guns on it.
Yeah. Not even with guns on them. Just ramming speed.
Yeah.
Ramming speed dragonflies. Yeah, okay, I can see something similar to that in my head now. End of spoilers, guys. End of major spoilers.
Narcto has another question. He says, at CitizenCon we were told that the farming will be implemented with 3.3. I can't imagine them implementing this without giving us some simple base building mechanics. Do you think we'll see the first iteration of player housing with the implementation of farming in 3.3?
Not necessarily, because it could be referring to biodomes on like the Endeavor.
Right. It could be something. Yeah, it could be something that's already implemented where we don't have the placement options. So it could be already placed farms that on planet side, or like you said, Endeavors, or we could have even farming satellites that aren't necessarily Endeavor, but use that same sort of mechanic where there's a satellite that rotates around a planet or a star that has that same sort of thing that you can go and do the farming on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Ratbin asks me, being a wicked pirate, how will I earn the bulk of my loot? Will it be from raiding convoys, smuggling, or even beating other pirates and taking their loot? Or do you have another more devious plan in mind? I'm very flexible. I am going to take the path of least resistance, and if that least resistance isn't necessarily super illegal, then that's it. That being said, I don't have a moral barometer based on what I need to do within the game to get those things done. That's all that means. I don't know what that's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be from raiding convoys or smuggling or taking other pirates. If it's easier for us to just take over other pirates' stuff, then that's what we're going to do. If it's easier for me to just bribe people and they actually follow through and pay me a small percentage than me having to risk losing things, then that's what I'm going to do. If it means that I just blow shit up and process it all through reclaimers, then that's what I'm going to do. To me, piracy, it just means I'm going to take the path of least resistance without any sort of moral barometer that would impede that. So instead of saying, oh, mining is the quickest way in a lawful way to get something, but maybe mining is, but maybe blowing up mining ships is even more profitable and even easier and faster. So if it's faster, or boarding them, and so that's what I'll do. But if it turns out that mining legit is faster than any illegal activity, then we'll do a lot of mining. Right? Anything that will help us do that and pursue our means to an end, which would be fueling our war machine and fueling our income. If that makes sense to you. IDD KFA asks, would you be happy if CIG released Star Marine with a single map, pistol only, and the scoreboard now, or should they wait for whatever CR standards are? I think they've already set a precedent with what they're releasing with. I think we're gonna get a 4v4 and a 12v12. We've seen the 12v12 already. I think that we already have the weapons and armors and all of that stuff in game. It's just a matter of attributing numbers to the armor, and I think they're very heavily working on grenades and stuff like that. That being said, would I like to see a pistol only, or would I like to see variations of those gameplay things? Of course I would. And I think that, yes, those would be very easy to implement. So I would like to see that sort of CSGO has a thing called gun game, right? Where you start out with a knife and then you build up to a pistol and whatever based on your kills, or based on what you pick it up.
I think that was from GoldenEye. But...
It might have been, but I think it's in CSGO now. I think there's a game mode in CSGO, and that's my frame of reference for it. But yeah, it would be cool to see different things like that. They're just like there would be cool to see like a permadeath game type, and a game type where it's based on time or based on points or whatever. There's a lot of different things that they can do with that, and we'll just have to wait and see what ones are the most popular. But I think overall, a lot of those things are fairly easily implemented. So I wouldn't see why not. I don't know what you guys... I feel like I took the center stage on that, but if you guys have any...
Don't worry about it.
I agree.
All right.
Yeah.
Next
I didn't
question.
realize, like, you hit it. I don't have anything else to...
Sometimes we just agree with you, Saurus. It's very
Every now and then. It's
Every now and
rare.
Every now and then. Commander Riker says, hey guys, could you explain the legacy system for the coders and what the new and improved system is, as well as limitations that will be broken when the new system is implemented? Thanks and keep up the good work. I have no idea.
Me neither.
I don't know what you're referring
Commander
to.
Riker, if you could do us a favor and elaborate on what you mean by coders, we'll come back to your question as soon as you after we finish this next one. The next one here,
we'll put it towards the top.
right? IDD asks, since you guys talked about Call of Duty and we're so high on the kill animations, do we really need even more interruptible animations who kill any kind of game flow? I mean, you should be able to protect yourself from it. There should be some sort of defense button that you can use to try and push someone away or shank them with a knife or something if
Yeah,
they
like
come up to you to do
counter,
that.
maybe, right?
I
Like
don't
there
like
needs to
that
be some sort
counter.
of like I'm not saying like within a time frame, but I'm saying like you legitimately have to use your melee animation if you see them coming up to you. If they come up to you from behind, then you're fucked because you're just not paying attention to
As
behind.
you should be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Come
think
up behind.
there should be a Tomb Raider mechanic where it's like you tap X and they're typing X and whoever types it faster wins. I don't think that's the case. I think it should be you have a certain amount of time to react within that. And if you didn't react within it, then you don't push them away or you don't fight them off. And that's that.
I just think the power of using a gun negates the need to be stabbed. So if people are getting close enough to stab you and you're not shooting them, I think that you should be punished for that stupidity. And that's my kind of thing.
I agree. It's the same with getting shot in the back.
But also, stabbing someone in heavy armor, that's unlikely to do anything. Tink! Shit.
Well, I also
weak points.
agree with that, but I also think there's going to be weak points with that.
Yeah.
Again,
Right.
that's something you have to do from behind. Try and get a weak point on a moving person that knows
Yeah,
you're
it's very difficult.
Yeah, it's
It's
going to
very
be hard. So, at the moment, all I've heard and all that's been suggested is there's definitely going to be stealth kills, and there's definitely going to be lots of different stealth kill mechanics. And
Well, we
that
saw
might
some of
be
it in the demo, where he came up behind him and stabbed him in the throat.
That might be the only version of melee kills, though.
I hope not.
I hope
I
not as
really
well.
hope not.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't be devastated.
And the other reason
so.
I don't think that's going to be the case is because the Van Duel have so much lore with the blades and with the actual knives and,
Yeah, they do.
daggers and things like that. I don't see that being a thing. Guns and Glue asks, would you like Titanfall or COD type gameplay on Star Citizen planets? Personally, I think Titanfall ground combat would be more fun. I don't have a frame of reference for Titanfall, so I can't. I don't think
Neither
either.
I know Board does.
It's the same as Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, except with Titans. It's exactly the same. It's run and gun shooter.
I don't think so. I think we're gonna see things that are a lot closer to Arma, or whatever, where it's a lot more tactical. It's a lot slower paced. I don't think there will be people who will try and run and gun. That's 100% guaranteed. There are gonna be people that are gonna try that tactic, and it may be successful sometimes. But I think that the way that the game is even now, is the right, and I said this before, I think this is the most run and gun type of gameplay we're gonna see with this, is with what we have right now. I think as they add more things to it, it's gonna start to slow it down even more. As they add the leaning and the cover mechanics and the different weapons and the different armor types and things like that.
And breathing and stances, if they're still going to be in there.
Yeah.
And even with the scanning to find players, I think that it's not just going to be you can see everyone on the minimap. There's going to be skills to everything, all that different armor levels as well. Oh, I'm excited about gadgets and armor and stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to get pretty wild, I think.
It's gonna be pretty awesome.
It's going to be really hard for CIG to make that FPS gameplay though for StarEngine, and that's probably one of the reasons it's taken so long. You see loads of first-person shooter games just fall flat on their face, and even with Rainbow Six Siege and stuff, and they had great ideas, they just don't work. And it's great that CIG can be flexible with it, because they can go, well, this mechanic's not working, let's change it, or let's move it. You can't do that with a game that's like Siege, which is based on certain mechanics. They can't change them.
Right.
So I suppose we're fortunate. It must be really fucking hard.
Our next question is from NK Shep. To me, will I be playing some more Escape from Tarkov now that it has multiplayer? They literally just announced that they put in the multiplayer patch. It is alpha, so I will be playing it, but I cannot show it on stream. I am under NDA.
Is it still embargoed?
Yeah, it is embargoed. So until that embargo is lifted, which I don't believe is happening until beta, I can't show any of that on stream, unfortunately. And there's no even sneaky way around it, because they do the whole name with
your name on
and it moves around, and it's just
I wish they did that with
the Evil Cuddy
Star Citizen.
Yeah.
And I think it would keep some of the BS out.
That's what they do with a lot of console games, I've noticed. When my last roommate Joel lived here, he had a lot of early access games that he would test out at home, and I got to see, and like Gears of War and stuff that he's working on. And that was one of the things that every console game that I ever saw that had some sort of embargo or NDA on it had that.
I understand. So obviously, one of the fears for Star Citizen is that some sort of game critical bug in a Avocati PTU or something will get linked on the internet and make people think the game is bad or something.
I think the whole reason that they do it, and this is their explanation, is that there may be things in there that they end up taking out to put out to the live patch.
Well,
and
why not? Why not then have a watermark which is clearly all over the screen, just saying early PTU test?
Yeah.
So that if anyone does release
and
a
that
video, it
nothing
just says
is
early PTU test.
early PTU tests, and not everything shown in here means that it's coming in or that it's a final mechanic or whatever. But
I think that would help.
you would think. Pepe UK asks, what do you guys think about CIG giving us more starter pack options? There's not so much to choose from at the moment. Perhaps letting us add a game package to a standalone ship would work. Tell me your thoughts, and thank you guys for a great show. I think that there are the packages there now, and I think those are the packages that are going to be for sale after the game has been released.
Yeah.
I don't think they want the specialized things like a Phoenix game package, for example. I don't think they ever want that. I think they have everything up to a Constellation Andromeda. They have the Hornet package. They have the 300i package. They have the Mustang. The whatever. There would be a couple other ships that I think that once they're in, or like for example the Reliant package, I think should be a game package.
I hate the Reliance so much at the moment.
I also don't like it, but knowing that they sort of said that it's a 2-seater starter ship, it should probably be in one of those starter packages that they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we'll see maybe a couple added over time, but maybe not of like the larger variety.
No, I don't think you're going to see any of the larger, like $350 ships with starter packages. It just doesn't make any sense.
Is there a racing package right now?
There's no package.
I think that would make sense. A starter racing.
Yeah, like a Gamma package.
Yeah.
So
just like there's the Omega package.
I think they should do specific starter packages for entry-level job roles. So
mining, salvage, all that stuff.
Yeah. Just the cheapest possible ship for that starter role. Because I think a part of the game is sold on that kind of...
Like the Hull A
Yeah.
for the space trucking. That's all I want to do. Yeah. Or that's what really attracted me to the game for the first place. I know I'm going to be playing a lot of this. I know a lot of people are going to be doing just space trucking, and that's all they care about. They don't want to do anything else. And so having those things, I think, would be like, yeah, you know what? I can do this, and this is the space trucking package, and this is the mining thing, and whatever. And they have those different options to start out with.
Mm-hmm.
Maromaro asks, hi, I can finally stream or be on stream and tell you guys that all three of you create the best Star Citizen content and one of the best podcasts to listen to. I watch it mostly on YouTube, and it's always late here in Poland. Also, I'm here to ask a question. Last week, you were talking about ejection in atmosphere with parachutes and everything, if you remember. Yeah. Do you think there'll be a mechanic that caused you to lose health if you were ejected too fast, flying fast in atmosphere, broken ribs and things like that?
I think you'll probably just die. But so one of the things that we saw,
you would burn up.
One of the things we saw in the 3.0 and the Gamescom demo, in both demos, was that there was a safe speed gauge when they were in atmosphere. Yeah. And I'm assuming that's definitely going to propagate to players who will just go boo! If you just eject in atmosphere while you're coming down pretty fast, you're dead.
Right. I also think that they have the whole flame texture thing when you're coming into atmosphere, and for coming into a certain speed and things like that. And I think that if you tried ejecting at that speed, it would kill you instantly due to you moving, and you would just die, because if you didn't have the protection on your ship, you would die. So if you don't have the protection on your body, you're definitely gonna die.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was in ATV or in the monthly report or in RTV, but they talk about that being dynamically driven and data driven now, the entry into atmosphere. It's all data driven now, so that's pretty cool for the heat.
His next question is anniversary sale is closing in. And I have a question concerning it as well. I would like to be a mercenary / smuggler, bounty hunter in game. What limited ship should I get during the anniversary sale that's less than $160 to fulfill that role?
So how much does the hull be?
90?
I'm going to go out there and say an Avenger Titan.
Yeah, the Titan is a great choice all-round ship.
The Titan or a Cutlass?
Or maybe a Cutlass, yeah.
Maybe a Cutlass, we'll see.
Yeah.
Rework
Maybe we're going to see a
Cutlass
bit
if
of the
you want
Cutlass,
something a little bit bigger.
next week.
But I think dude,
I would expect to
I'm
see
excited
the
to see.
Cutlass
I
next
expect
week.
to see the Cutlass now as well. That you just mentioned it. It didn't click until just now. But yeah, the Avenger, the Cutlass, or what I basically suggest to everybody who's not really sure, but to fulfill those roles specifically, yeah, those things. You mercenary, bounty hunter, you want to be able to shut down ships. They come with the Joker sucker punches. It has the cargo in the back, or you can also swap that module out for an EMP, or you can swap it out for those cryopods. I think that the Avenger fits that almost to a T.
If you could go a little bit more money, and I hate advising people to spend more money, and you wanted to do smuggling, the Hull C. The Hull C was originally concepted as that ship that you had loads of little smuggly hidey holes.
But remember, you're probably going to need multiple people to run that. Whereas the other ships you want...
maybe.
The other
the
ships,
A
I
and
think,
B were set to
are
be
better for starting
single
out
role, single guy.
with those things.
I like the idea of the B. I think it was 90 was the B.
90 for the B, yeah, I've just checked.
I agree.
60 for the A, 90 for the B, 200 for the C. So it is
A
significantly
big
more
step
for
up,
C.
yeah.
You can get it all in
And
game. So.
his last question is, do you think with the new lobby system, and I'm going to add to this after I finish this here, do you think with the new lobby system in 2.6 we'll see a rework of the friends and adding system? I'm gonna wedge in there Spectrum. I think Spectrum is gonna be what changes your new friends system for the most part. I think.
Do you think Spectrum will come with 2.6? Or do you think we won't see it until Spectrum?
I think Spectrum is a lot closer than we think. And I think one of the reasons that they
early
shut down
Spectrums.
the Evocati Discord is because I don't think they're going to be using Discord anymore for Evocati. I think they're going to be using Spectrum. And the first people who are going to use Spectrum are Evocati. So I think it's right there.
I'm just going to see what they say on my Spectrum thing. Oh no! Oh god! Oh no! Oh, lol, lol, lol.
So I think that's what is going on.
I have
with
no
that.
idea.
And I think that all your friends lists and everything is what Spectrum is. It's your org system, it's your in-game, it's your out-of-game, it's your friends list, it's your communications, it's your in-game web browser, it's all of that stuff.
Twerk guilt face.
I'm not.
Post avocado
It's so
guilt.
funny. It's so funny how many things he said that weren't correct there. About the Discord in the first place.
Yeah.
They didn't close the Evocati Discord. So.
Right. Well,
It's
whatever
still there. They closed
that
the
announcement.
PTU Discord.
The PTU Discord. Right.
Yes, very different.
Right. That's what I meant. Whatever that announcement was from Will Everett immediately told me the only reason they would be doing this is to be getting ready for Spectrum. There's no other reason for them to do it. To shut it down.
The reason
Commander,
I'm making a face is because I didn't want to like poop on Saurus because he just went on this whole thing.
yeah, but I think everything
I think
else that I
Spectrum
talked
could be
about
close
with
too, I don't
Spectrum,
know.
I think all of that stuff is
I think it's-
Spectrum. I mean, that's what they talked about at CitizenCon.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were
I
hoping to
think
get it by the end of the year, though.
Well,
Hoping.
I think there's going to be more features by the end of the year. I do think we're going to get an early implementation of Spectrum.
Real
I think it
soon.
will be very basic, but it will be the early implementation.
Yeah.
Commander Riker asks, "Hey guys, with the updated animations for getting in and out of ships more quickly, it sparked a line of questions which I would like your opinions on. I assume that eventually we should be able to remotely be able to open and start your ship with Mobiglass. But
That'd be sweet.
what other remote functions do you hope to see being useful with Mobiglass?
Remote
Self-destruct.
bombs.
Self-destruct.
Yeah, remote
I think we're
bombs
on the
too.
same sort of page with that.
Yeah.
Being able to,
I'm
yeah,
not
like
sure
have a
if they should
remote.
allow you to remote self-destruct.
I think they should.
I think that's going to be as important as turning a key on a nuke. Like, I think that has to be, you have to be in a certain place in your ship, and you have to turn the key personally. That's the way I would want self-destruct to be done. Because if you could remote access your self-destruct, technically in lore and stuff, someone could hack that.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't want people just blowing up ships everywhere.
No.
Because lore.
I understand from the lore perspective. As a gameplay perspective, I would like to see that. But yeah, I mean, that sort of it brings up a thing like, how do you say that, oh, this is unhackable, but the comm arrays that transfer millions and billions of UEC every day are hackable? That doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, from a lore perspective, you're right.
Yeah.
For sure.
And Star Citizen is heavily lore driven.
And with the data mining and everything and the hacking that they want to have, it wouldn't make sense that way.
So Matt Sherman just said something
But
about it.
having bombs, like a bomb that you could place in a doorway and then you set off from a remote location, yes, 100% I would like to see that. But that's not really related to the ships. But that as a remote function, that would be really cool. Or like
if you can remote self-destruct, expect a forced timer. Snap destruct is planned to require operator death. That's what Matt Sherman just said.
yeah. Yeah,
What
so
about
you would have to
remotely
have a
changing
timer.
components on
Okay,
your
how about
ship?
this? I just found a way to get around that, BoredGamer. Yes,
Yeah.
there's a remote timer on it, but there's also a way to turn it off from inside the ship. So, for example, if it was a single player or say a team of three people in an Idris, for example, right, that have taken over the Idris, without the person who owns the Idris being there or being killed in that process. There's a remote timer, but there's a timer for 5 minutes on it. They have to go and turn it off wherever that station is in the ship. So that would mean that they would have to get out of the pilot seat and go and run. Or if they had a team big enough there, they could have a dedicated person to shutting off that system and making sure that they can't do that. So there would be a mechanic to negate that for the person that stole it, instead of just like, even now you can jump in the ship and cancel it because there's a long enough timer on it. So yeah, maybe a minimum like 5 minute timer or a 3 minute timer or something.
I'm happy as long as there's no exploitable mechanics. I don't see any problem. It's just making sure there's nothing that's like, for fuck's sake, I'd captured that fucking capital ship and someone blew it up remotely. Because that's just bollocks.
Yeah, because it goes back to the whole thing that I've said. For every game mechanic that you introduce, there has to be an opposite game mechanic when you're going against other players to negate that. Yeah. That needs to be of equal around like the same sort of skill level. Well, it's true though, right? To make it a fun game,
you're right.
it needs to have that yin and yang on both sides. It can't just be overpowered on one side. You can't have
Hold
it
F to hack
where somebody just always has an advantage on one side and there's no way to fight it on the other way, because then that'll get exploited. And as we play the game and learn more about the game and they release more about the game, I think we'll learn more and more about what those things could be. For example, we see in Grimhex, we thought, okay, there's going to be ways to do that. Right now, you can't open up a ship that's even just floating there, a single-seater ship, and kill the player inside it. In EVA, there's literally no way to fight that.
No.
So there's going to have to be some sort of give and take with some of those mechanics. Duke Bowers asks, getting ready to build a new PC by the end of the year. I have asked quite a few people throughout the community, but more input the better. I'm stuck between the i7 6700K and the 6800K. My question is, will Star Citizen take advantage of the 6 cores, or will it only use 4? Or will Star Citizen eventually use 6 core if it doesn't already?
The more cores you have, the better, right?
It will scale up to at least 16. That said, single core performance is still going to be a factor. And at the moment, the 6700K is the best gaming processor in my opinion. That is my opinion. It's got such a good, powerful single core performance. The 7700Ks that are coming out are going to be a bit better. I would go for whatever's cheaper, and then when Star Citizen's out, buy a new processor. Sell your old one, buy a new one, because you're going to get the best of both worlds there. Honey. Is that better? Source taking notes.
No, I'm just
type something in.
I'm just arguing with Clifford in chat about AMD. And how comparing Zen to i7 at this point is like comparing a 390X to a 1080. Arceus says, question involving planets and orbitals in-game. Will objects in solar systems actually orbit, aka binary star systems have eclipses and other astrological events? Yep. The planets are going to rotate and orbit, and satellites are going to orbit those things, including the moons and the satellites and things like that. All kinds of cool shit. They have that system working now, and they showed it to us.
It's dynamically driven from the sun, through atmosphere, through clouds, through weather systems. Anything that gets in the way, gets in the way. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So Jace confirmed, I remember the discussion of how many ships. He was like, I got it backwards. It's 40 ships and like 70 missions.
Yes, it's 40 ships. So,
damn it, Jace.
And I think we named all of the battleships that I knew about. And there are obviously going to be a reasonable amount of ships that we have in the verse or that have been announced that are human ships that we can buy and purchase and fly that aren't going to be in Squadron 42 Episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
NK Sharp asks, how would you explain the worth of Star Citizen currently to someone who has not backed the game as of yet? Was talking to someone who never saw any Star Citizen footage today and told them to simply wait for the Free Fly event. Steam Early Access, I think, has left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths after many people have been burned in the past, and that's very true, you know, with games like War Z or, what was that, the dinosaur one that burned everybody?
Ark?
No, not Ark. Not Ark.
Jurassic Park.
No. I forget what it was, the Stomping Grounds or Stomping Land or whatever. That the developers,
the one that just disappeared.
Yeah, the one that just disappeared. Things like that. And
Wait,
like,
was that the one where you can play as a dinosaur?
No.
No.
Okay.
So it was like similar to Ark, but it was very much. It was on Steam.
It was before Ark came out, and then
it
just they stopped updating. They made a shit ton of money,
the Isle?
and then disappeared. I don't know, maybe.
I think it was Stomping Grounds.
It was Stomping Grounds. Yeah. Okay.
But they didn't give refunds or anything. They just fucking vanished. Vanishing Lands, mate.
Vanishing Lands.
It's a fucking big.
No, but to answer the question, I always say that Squadron's pretty close, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Squadron is eventually going to not be 45 on its own. I think it's going to be 45 and 45, and I don't know what the package.
I think it'll be 60 and 60.
It might be 60 and 60. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I always kind of say in that situation, buying into the game is good because you'll get 2 good games hopefully for the price of 1, like AAA. You'll get 2 AAAs, and you also get to have your voice heard. So as someone that doesn't stream, this is a little harder to say, but as someone who does stream, and there's devs in the chat that are listening to your voice, there's devs in the chat that come into your channel and say, hey, what do you guys think about this? What game can you be a part of and have a voice like we do in this game, right?
That's what open development really
I'm going to say, and I'll tell you what I say when people ask me. I say, look at it this way. Right now, if you buy the game, remember that it's an alpha, number 1. You're going to get maximum 5 to 6 hours of unique gameplay. Maximum, okay? Out of what we have right now. Okay. Yeah. And not only that, yes, right now it is cheaper. However, it's not so much cheaper that it's going to be impossible to attain after the game is out. If you are not comfortable with dealing with bugs or you are on the fence at all, do not buy it. Do not spend the money on it. Wait until the game comes out, and then However, if you
can buy the game and wait.
Right. Then this is what I'm going to say. If you think that 100% this is the game up your alley, but you don't want to play it right now, I would suggest buying it now because you're going to still have it. Whether you have it now or later is kind of irrelevant. You can see how it runs on your machine. You can do some quick tests right away. Mm-hmm. You can check out the latest patches and see how that is, and you can get your voice heard with that stuff. But if you're on the fence and you're not sure if you're going to play it when the game is out, you're not sure if it's going to hit your expectations, then don't buy it. Wait, come to our streams, come to BoredGamer's YouTube, go to those things, learn about it, check it out every month. You know, come in once a month. Don't overload on it. Just come in
Whoa.
every couple months and check and see where it's at. And when it's at a point, if it's when it's at a point where you feel comfortable putting your money into it and playing it, then so be it. I know a lot of people are waiting for StarEngine, and that's going to be one of the things that's going to determine whether people pick it up at that point or not, right? And that's to see if they're going to get their immediate money out of it. So, for example, the way I look at early access games in general is how much, or even full games after they've been released. Me spending this money on it, how many hours of gameplay am I going to get out of it, and is that worth it to me? Obviously, Star Citizen is worth it to me. I have I have over 10,000 hours in the game. But if it's something like, and this is the same thing with No Man's Sky, for example, right? I wouldn't have refunded it or whatever if I would have thought I would have got more out of it. But for $70, it was not worth it for me because I knew I was never going to touch it again. Right? So with Call of Duty, if I was only interested in the single player mechanic and that was it, I would have never picked it up. Because 5 hours for not for the price it is right now, anyways. For the 5 hours, it just isn't worth the money to hour ratio for me.
How many hours is a minimum amount of hours for you to spend a full AAA title price of 70 Canadian dollars?
80 hours.
How many hours?
80.
80.
I'd say 20.
Six.
For me.
You know what? Actually, I'm going to reduce that by half. 40 hours total.
Most solid single player campaigns are 20-hour campaigns.
Right, but I'm
40
also including going back and getting all the achievements and doing all that stuff if I really like the game. Yeah, replayability is super important, and that's why I like multiplayer games so much.
Yeah, like COD, I don't think I can replay.
Yeah, Call of Duty
it's so on rails. What different things?
For
most people, if you wanted to play the COD Infinite Warfare single player campaign, wait until it's on sale.
Yeah,
because it's
Twerk,
only a $15 game if you're just going to play the single player campaign.
If I was Twerk and I was not a streamer,
I would have never bought the game.
Then I'm assuming you would have never bought the game because
I would have never bought the game.
It's worth it for us because we get to show you guys and give our opinions and stuff like that on it, especially for a single player portion of the game. For me, streamer or not, I don't play single player games. The reason is
I love single player games.
I don't get the replayability out of it that I want. I play it and it's over and it's done.
You know what I'm doing?
It's the same reason I don't buy movies and I go to the movies or I rent one.
Like every time I play a single player game, I'm looking for the next Mass Effect. Every time I play it.
Mm-hmm.
We did get some super dank memes from chat though, so that made it worth 600. It was worth 600.
You hear that?
Chat was so funny during that playthrough. It was so fun.
You hear that, Activision?
Of making
charge
fun
Twerk
of
$700.
Making fun of COD. It was nonstop. The comparisons and how many times people spammed F. It was great. It was so good. I had a great time.
Yeah. So Activision charged Twerk Gamer $600 for.
Yeah, charge Twerk Gamer because that guy is
Twerk
not
Gamer.
me, so
Did I say Twerk Gamer?
Gamer?
Oh my fucking god. Okay, Fandom of Truth says
We've had a baby, Board, you and I.
Oh,
and it's now Twerk Gamer.
Probably.
Really, really bad.
The amount of love that goes on between you guys.
The two of us together would be the worst streamer ever.
Anyways. Oh man. Phantom of Truth says, as it relates to pledging rewards and what we've spent towards the pledges, do any of you have something in your melt that you plan to rebuy with cash because it's a ship or package you really want to keep but had to leverage for newer purchases?
No, but I am.
Mine's a 50 yes. No, mine's both a yes and no answer. But
yeah, mine's just a no. But I'm gonna unmelt a cutlass because I want to fly it after the rework.
I've put all the money that I'm going to put into Star Citizen. I think I've got $2,000 in total now, and that's more than I ever wanted to spend. But I'm a content creator, but there's nothing else I want.
All of the packages that I have that are melted aren't for me. So they're there for promotional stuff for my channel. So whether that be for giveaways or whatever, that's the only reason I'll unmelt anything. All the ships that I want, I have right now. including ones that are future coming out or not, unless they release more Drake ships. I have the ships
I'm sure
going to
they
be
will.
getting. I have the ships that I'm getting right now. I'm starting with the Drake ships. I have a couple ships outside of that are special cases: the Super Hornet, the Omega, and the Gladius. The Omega I got for $10. The Gladius I got for the referral program.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what those are there for. But in terms of unmelting ships for my own personal use, not at all.
Okay.
Nakamura asks all of us, what would you guys prefer they put the most effort into? A fully fledged 2.6 with all the Star Marine maps, or a 2.6 with limited features and perhaps 1 or 2 maps for Star Marine, but more resources and efforts put into 3.0 PTU or PU?
Oh, it's a hard balance, isn't
Well,
it?
I think initially the second one is what they're doing. The second one is they are putting in more effort into 3.0. I think that we are only getting 1 or 2 maps for Star Marine, but I think over time, Star Marine is going to get really fleshed out. At least I hope so. I hope it becomes good enough to be. I'm not saying I want it to be its own standalone game, but I hope it becomes fleshed out enough to become its own standalone thing, and that some people only get Star Citizen or Squadron 42 for Star Marine, and Arena Commander. I hope that
Let's face
becomes
it,
the case.
3.0.
But
is so much more
3.0,
important to
yeah,
the game.
like as a whole, 3.0 and the persistent universe is much more important than Star Marine is.
Yeah. That's how I feel. I'm looking at if it was that case where, and I don't think it is, where it's
I
like,
don't
okay,
think
we
it's
need
to choose one or
we
the
need
other.
to take this or choose one or the other. I would choose 3.0 because 3.0 is the game.
And I think
Star Marine can come anytime.
as a first implementation, that's what they're doing. Is they're giving us limited features, giving us limited maps, limited game modes with Star Marine, and just getting it out there for the first couple things, and putting all those efforts in 3.0. Look at all the patches that are coming after 3.0. How many of those mention Star Marine in them? How many of those are persistent universe stuff?
Mm-hmm.
That explains it right there.
Yeah. The focus is definitely on 3.0, you would think.
100%. Pixpew asked Twerk17, will your friendship survive when WTFOSAURUS captures you and takes you as a slave in game, or will you stay out of pirate space?
I would hope our friendship would survive. I think the only way that our friendship wouldn't survive is if he did something really like griefy, right?
I don't think
that.
I
don't think we're gonna do any of that. And we'll I come from a sports background. I've punched a guy in the face in a hockey game, and he's punched me. And at the end of the game, we shook hands.
I can say
expect
this
the
right
same
now.
thing between Saurus and I with the video game.
From my perspective, anyways, I understand that it's a video game. I can tell
me
you
too.
right now that me and Twerk have gotten into heated arguments.
Oh,
not on stream, off stream,
and
we've even said things that we've regretted to each other. That's part of a friendship, I think, and I think that's part of what makes our bond really strong.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anything in game that can happen that is going to be like, fuck that guy, whatever. I think that we both realize that it's a game, and that push and pull is going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's probably, in all honesty, it probably won't happen, but at the same time, it is almost kind of inevitable that it will happen at some point. So who knows? Who knows? But I don't think that that's going to be strong enough to break what our friendship has become over the amount of time that we've known each other.
True.
Go299 asks, you don't think it could go to the other direction, making... That's not a question. All right. And I don't even know how that got through. Mods, whoever's putting this stuff in, please filter this stuff. Twerk17, this is from Jamie. The Hull D has a crew of 5 people and people are expensive, even on a very safe route.
People are expensive to buy.
Yeah, for example, Tear to Earth. Do you think that it would be viable for one person to take an unescorted Hull DC, or do you think CIG will try to make it so you'd always need multiple crew members and or escort?
Ooh, I think less on the multiple crew members, but more on the escort. I think if you're gonna do big things like that, you're gonna want an escort. right? So I think that is, it just really seems like the design of the game, I hate to say it this way, but it just feels like it's in the direction of you gotta have friends, or you like we'll see how the AI works, or you gotta have solid AI co-pilots and crew helping.
I want to interject for 1 second, just based on the last questions. People are like, "Oh, you know, what about Bored? Whatever." The thing with Bored is he has his own organization. I have my own organization. We can make sure that that's always okay. With Twerk, he doesn't own that organization. So we don't know what that relationship is going to be like with that. Where me and Bored, it's a lot easier to just say, fuck it, whatever, we're good. And then it's all good. So that is almost a zero chance of anything happening. Unless one of our org mates fucks up with another org mate or something like that. And then we would deal with that as an organization or whatever.
There are giant incidents in EVE that are triggered over very tiny things. It's like international incidents in game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that sort of stuff can happen. And
it's easy
great,
for us to make sure that we are both on the same side. Whether we are both good or bad or whatever, we can still make sure that there's something with people, like with the content creators that are within Redacted that run their own organizations. It makes it a lot easier for us to make sure that unless we want to generate content, that there's no issues there.
Yeah.
But also, there are many grey levels in between good and evil.
Right.
That we will explore in some ways, I'm sure.
Definitely.
As we,
I mean, for example, I know I have a second account. Is that account going to be pirates? Probably not. So that means that I'll be able to do stuff with Twerk or with other people or with whatever.
You'll get bored instantly. You'll be like, I can't care about anymore.
Yeah.
Must
It's
murder.
like fucking alt backspace, spam that shit. But yeah, sorry to derail that, but somebody mentioned, oh, Bored's sad because Source didn't say that about him. That's why I don't have to say that about him, is because Twerk doesn't run his organization.
Yeah.
And so that's why that case is.
I mean, I'm not.
We are both more malleable with that. Because even if you weren't, even if you were super goody two C's, super plus UE, super plus some org that I hate, I can still say Twerk or Bored is greenlit, and so we don't touch Bored, and Bored doesn't touch
Bored
us.
is lit.
Anyone that I can reason with, that we can have, so that Saurus can be reasoned with, because he can get money off me if to leave, so that he leaves me alone, or I can give him information so that he helps me kill Vandal or choke, as we said, choke the prices of iron or something. I mean, there's millions of ways you can use pirates that aren't directly illegal yourself. And that's one of the things that I'll probably do in my org. I want to make money. I'm not going to be a total dick, but I might be a little bit of a dick.
He won't get his hands dirty, but he will pay other people to do the dirty work for him.
Maybe. Probably.
Most
Maybe.
likely. 100% BoredGamer. Look at his face. Look at his face.
I like that sort of gameplay. I like that sort of being able to control
Bored not being a shady fuck. Come on.
I'll be honest about it. I'll be honest about the stuff. Be like, we're getting pirates to fucking choke the
But
shit out of
that's
the
part of the game. That's the whole fun part of the game. But anyways, back to this question. Sorry for derailing that, Twerk.
Oh, it's okay. I think I answered what I was going to say. I actually forgot what the fucking question was.
The Huldy crew of 5 people being expensive. Do you think CIG will make it? So you always need multiple crew members.
No, I think their intention is to not, but it doesn't feel that way.
I think that you are going to make less money.
Roll a big ship.
You will be able to roll it solo if you want. You'll also be able to hire NPCs or just roll it by yourself. You know, if you are Terra to Earth, I don't think you're going to be making a lot of money doing that. I think you'll be able to make small amounts of money, and you will be able to do that over a long period of time. If you love space trucking, then sure, maybe it's going to be viable that way. But in the long term, I don't think that's the best way to do it. And we only have 3 questions left. So I got your thing. It beeped. Arachnox asks, if another player is talking with an NPC about a mission, can you also listen to the conversation and maybe complete the mission by yourself before you can do it to earn the credits? We've had a huge argument and discussion about this, and we've talked about it so many times that I'm not even going to touch it, and we're going to move forward on that one. But the thing is we don't
Moving on
know
now.
whether it's going to be instanced or not.
Picture.
What the fuck is that?
What?
We can't show that on stream.
No, we can't. We can't show
What?
it on stream.
What?
gotta get
Now I'm
that.
sad that I can't see it.
Oh,
God,
You
just
look
we'll see it
so
in a
hot.
second.
You look
Don't.
so hot, Twerk.
Oh.
Somebody tweeted something. To
Oh my
Do not show
God.
that on this fucking channel.
Oh my fuck.
I'll show it on my channel later.
Go ahead. 'Cause I'm not gonna
Well,
do
you know what? Even better. Just follow me on Twitter, guys. I just or Twerk or Bored, because we'll all retweet it, and you can see it on Twitter. Okay. Captain Cranky says, "Do you think experience with games like Eve will help or hinder?"
Help. It's
I think
all having to play
any
base.
game experience, whether it be FPS experience, whether it be Eve experience, whatever, I think it'll help. To what degree, I don't know, but I think it will help a certain amount. And our last question from Arcasius is, do you think the races will be fixed, aka the failing to trigger checkpoint? I know they're adding a new raceway. Of course it's going to be fixed. That's I don't even know how these questions, like, yes, everything is going to be fixed by the time the game is released. When it's going to be fixed is unknown at this point. We can't answer when.
Release on any particular schedule.
But yes, it's
The
going to
actual
be, of course they're going to fix the racing bugs and any other bugs that are happening where it doesn't count the checkpoints and things like that. Is that going to be fixed in the next patch? I don't know. I know they're working on Arena Commander stuff. I can't say, though, with the racing stuff. So who knows? That being said, that was our last question. So we are going to ask you guys where people can find you and what you're up to.
Before we
Yep.
do that, t-shirts. I'm
Yeah, no, I'm going to cover that with Twerk.
afterwards. Oh my god.
I already talked
Spoilers.
after.
Spoilers.
After we're gonna cover that with Twerk there. But this is the point in the podcast where we let us know what we're up to for the rest of the week and where people can find us and any promotions or anything that we're doing. So Twerk17, where can people find you? And what are you up to this next week?
All right, so you guys can find me here. You're on my Twitch channel, so if you're new to Star Citizen, you're new to the channel, you enjoy... I mean, this isn't typically the content that we have here. Most of the time we're playing video games, right? So if you're interested in Star Citizen, spacey type games, this is where you hit the follow button and come see my streams. I start at 6 a.m. Eastern time and end around 10. You can find me on Twitter at Twerk17 Gaming and YouTube at Twerk17 Gaming as well. And YouTube, I'm kind of starting to do some hardware reviews that I want to have, like for the website too. So X55 review soon, or X56 review soon. But they're very time consuming, and I didn't have much time this week. Other than that, playing some games. We talked about what games I might be playing in the future. I asked below the stream, actually. And a lot of people said Borderlands 2.
Oh, have you not played through
Borderlands
it?
2. I've never played a Borderlands
Really?
game.
Borderlands
Yeah.
2 is really fun. I didn't beat
So
it,
that's what
but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, everybody was like Borderlands, and then we can play co-op and stuff like that. So I was like, all right, that sounds cool. So I think we'll probably do that. I'm still going through my Doom playthrough, but then the next game I asked what we want to play, and a lot of people said Borderlands. So the other thing is I finally put up a store, and I showed it this morning. It has changed vastly from this morning.
All them shirts.
Thanks to our friend Rocket Lion, and he is amazing. For those of you that don't know him, if you know Soda Poppin', he did Soda Poppin's Sub Alert. This guy is fantastic.
He does all my store stuff.
Yeah, he does all of Saurus's store stuff. So he upped the shirt game like big time, and just how to lay it out, stuff like that. If you want to show the holiday shirt, that's the new one.
Yeah, there's two on
need
sale right
more
now.
one of these.
The Gray Ed and the very Trixie
Yeah,
shirt. And let me just... I'm going to try
a
and
very
zoom in.
Trixie Christmas was done by Wickstrom, and I Wickstrom did all the art, obviously, and I kind of put the the idea together. And you can find this store by typing in !store in chat. There also is a link below the stream. It's pretty good. It's pretty fucking funny. I'm not gonna lie. So ho ho
I just
ho.
realised that's the Ahi guy.
Yeah, the little ahi
Christmas
guy
hat
with the
Just
Santa hat
realised.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
even
ho
better.
ho ho, Merry Christmas. So I thought for an ugly sweater shirt, why not
It's beautiful.
go all out, right? It's pretty fucking solid right there.
Yeah, no, it's an awesome shirt. I'm excited to
Yeah.
get one.
Yeah. So it looks really good in red and really good in green if you want to go Christmassy themed, but it like purple looks good too. There's some like other colors that look good.
And there has been a change to both my store and Twerk store, and it will happen with anybody else who does do a store with us as well, is you can also support Redacted as a whole directly
Yes.
through the individual stores, because we do have the Redacted shirts there. Now on the website, we are going to do the opposite. So the Redacted store is going to have all of the team members' shirts available on that for to support all of
Yeah.
Redacted as well. But you
So
can
just so
support
you-
the podcast and
you
the team by
support
picking those
Redacted.
up.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Like if you decide to pick up a Redacted shirt, it goes to support those teams. So,
And
the
that
team.
those funds are automatically allocated the way that we have everything set up. So
Yep.
it's muy bueno.
Yes, very good.
But definitely, if you haven't checked that out, it's ! Store
Store
in
yeah.
chat.
Exclamation
Oh
point store.
shit! People have bought my T-shirts. Fuck me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and
and it's actually the first time I've put up like we haven't had this shirt for sale in like a year.
and now
and people
there's
have been asking
one
for
for
a year.
on white shirts and stuff too.
Yeah,
And
so
with
he
where it
helped out.
says twerk and stuff, I really like them.
Yeah, that's been part of the logo forever. I just never used it, and he was like, "Can I use this?" And I said, "Go ahead." Rock and
And BoredGamer, where can people find you?
People
And
find
what are you up to?
me, on the interwebs, pretty much anywhere at BoredGamerUK. So that can be on the Twitches. That can be because I stream, just
Mhm.
power streamer. On the YouTubes, which is my main area of expertise, and on Twitter and pretty much anywhere else you can think of. Also, I've got a TeePublic. Well, look at me selling out like you guys. Yeah, boom! Buy T-shirts, wear
There you
them.
go.
Tell your friends, be like, "Oh, who's that? Oh, it's some bored twat on the internet."
Yeah,
Woo!
I'll have to introduce you to Rocket as well.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Just for the same things that we're doing with the Redacted stuff, you're gonna need to be in.
Rocket sounds like a blast.
Yeah. Anyways, here let me
no. So this week, what I'm going to be doing
that Merchant Man
is
shirt though.
That
looks familiar.
Oh my god, everyone's got one of those. Have you not seen Creative Gamers one?
I have with all the different
Everyone's
beers.
got one of them, Saurus. That's
I
how you
know.
make a shirt. That's the first
I
shirt
know.
everyone makes.
I know.
But I'm going to be doing some PC guides for high-end PCs. That's actually almost done now. I just need to get them up. I'm going to be looking at roles, specifically exploration and trading, because people have been asking me about them so much. And we're going to be looking at what we're expecting Star Citizen to be in the future. And I'm not going to say any more than that, because I've already said too much.
Mhm.
I'm not sure I did that song. But yeah, please check out my stuff. Check out my YouTube channel, and maybe my Twitch streams. I only stream on Sundays and Tuesdays, but I'll probably stream more as well occasionally, just randomly.
Yeah.
I love you guys. You're the best. What about you, Saurus?
So for me, first things first, I have that DX Racer raffle. We have 6 days left on that.
Ooh,
So
I
6
can't wait
days
for my new
left.
chair.
For the DX Racer. If you haven't gotten into that, I will throw a link in chat in 1 second here. And other than that, I'm just going to be playing Star Citizen with some Call of Duty peppered in there. In between, there's the link for that in chat for you guys. Going to be playing that. You can find me at twitch.tv/WTFOSAURUS and on Twitter at WTFOSAURUS. I am going to kick out my 2 roommates and rent out my rooms for $2,000 each. Hit me up on Twitter.
For Americans.
Yeah. And yeah, so right after this, I'm going to be streaming. I have a kind person who has anonymously donated a dragonfly. So we have one more.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, we have one more. And so we'll be doing that right after this stream. And as always, this episode of Redacted is brought to you by Antlion. They do help sponsor the podcast and keep us running. These are the mics that we use for this podcast. So if you like how we sound and you'd like one of these, go check out their website at modmic.com and go pick yourself one up and attach it to your existing headphones. Also, we have a Patreon for the Redacted podcast and team. This money goes towards the website stuff, the email stuff, any software that we need, and anything else as well. Also, buying any of those shirts, that money goes towards that as well, and it really helps.
It all goes to the same.
So a huge shout out and thank you to the 15 Patreons we have now. But if you would like to support the team as a whole and you're not sure how to do that, this is the best way to do that on patreon.com/redactedtv. And last but not least, of course, you need to go check out our website, which is undergoing some reconstructive surgery.
I hope to show an update next week.
Yes,
That
but
is my
the
plan
site
was
does
actually
work
to show
and
it
is still
today.
live for the time
Yeah.
being. So definitely go check it out. We have a bunch of really awesome stuff up there from BoredGamer, Luciana, from
BoredGamer's
Twerk,
monthly report, Luciana's stuff.
all
We'll
kinds
start
of stuff.
posting on that website more, but we are getting a significantly better website up at some point,
Yes,
or at least a
Yeah.
better vision of what we wanted for the website.
absolutely. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So there you are there, guys. So yes, I will be live here in the next couple minutes. I just have to change my stream key over. And we will see you guys for the next episode of Redacted next week. I think the next 3 are going to be on my channel because of Thanksgiving.
Yes, I will not
Right.
be here next week, so Nubifire
Is
is going
it
to
next
fill in
week
for me.
that you're not
No,
here?
I keep forgetting.
Shit.
Not next week, the week after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not next week, the week after. Correct.
Gotcha. So until next week, guys, we love you.
Check out
And
britasoncon.uk, whatever it was.
Yep.
I put it in the chat.
there you go. And we will see you guys next Wednesday. Take care,
Be
guys.
good, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.